It's a special Bear birthday today, Dad, but doesn't Oskee still move like a young cub? Look at him. Well, speaking of young, it's homecoming weekend in Berkeley. Always a day that spans all generations. Young Bears fans and, yes, young Utes fans making their way in to Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. Pac-12 football presented by Opus Bank, the ranked and undefeated Utah Utes and the California Golden Bears. Out through their tunnel come the Golden Bears on homecoming Saturday. A bright, sunny Saturday afternoon. Good turnout expected in Berkeley. Students were piled in here, pressed into their sections about an hour before. Yeah, Cindy, and you know, Yogi, I look at, we all know Sonny Dykes' reputation now and the offense that he's brought here and that it's carried over this year with new faces. You get a sense, a little bit like we saw with Oregon last week, the turnovers is an empty possession, and until they have a defense that can stop people more consistently, the empty possessions on offense are what really hurt them.
No doubt, and I think that's where we're going to see Utah when they get the ball. They're going to try to run it, try to eat up the clock, steal possessions from Cal.
And that's what Kyle Whittingham's game is all about, as Utah deferred after winning the toss, so they will kick the ball into the end zone where it is bobbled and then downed by Cal. As we take a look at their difference makers presented by Nissan.
Well, Demetrius Robertson, they're going to move him all over the field. I expect him to have a huge game because I think Utah's primary focus, and it should be, is to take away Chad Hansen, the top receiver according to Pro Football Focus College. He does everything. And today, both of these wideouts are going to see press man coverage right off the bat on this very first snap of the game. We'll see how they respond to the physicality at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Davis Webb, who played and started games at Texas Tech and then lost the starting position there as they run a little motion pitch, a little toss ahead, and get Demetrius Robertson going right out of the slot.
Yeah, well, as you've watched film on this team, every week he's grown. That Hawaii game in Australia, his eyes were like a freshman. Oh my God, what's happening here? Every week he's grown. Last week over ASU, over 100 yards.
All right, so 8 yards on the first down run. There's the quick slant. And so right away, Cal gets a first down on that throw. Ray Hudson with the catch against a Utah defense today that will be missing Lolotolele.
Incredible job by Davis Webb. I mean, when quarterbacks pump it, you want to make sure that the ball gets away from both your hands.
So they're running inside. Trey Watson getting the first carry. Cal rotates 3 running backs in there as we see a flag down. Although we're not sure right now about the standing up.
Offside defense lined up in the neutral zone, number 15. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
We'll be watching early here to see how much, if at all, Khalfani Muhammad's able to play for Cal.
Yeah, no doubt, and they're going to miss him. You know, you just look at a week ago against ASU when he was in the ball game, averaging over 5 yards per carry on the ground, second half, not even 3. This running attack of Cal has to exist today for them to win.
Chad Hansen at the very bottom of your picture. Webb never even looked at him, went the opposite side with an incomplete throw intended there for Brandon Singleton. So here's, see a little bit, looks like a little bit of room there.
I thought it was going to be PI,
yeah,
to be quite honest. They're going to let him play today. You know, we talked to the officials for every game, and they said, look, we're going to allow some contact with these wideouts, knowing how much the ball is going to be in the air.
Casey Hughes on the cover. Hansen again is down at the bottom, and Utah, one of their defensive specialties under Kyle Whittingham is the man press. Brian Allen is their corner right up on Hansen.
Tall, 6'2".
And run the ball straight ahead, and that Sonny Dykes will tell you every week that he coaches forever that it's not just throwing the ball all over the place. You have to do this.
And I think it's a common misnomer. We think Cal's offense, because of his relationship with Mike Leach of Washington State, is the same thing. It's not at all.
Watson ran there for a first down. Now Webb goes for Hansen. And Hansen pulls it in. Touchdown, Cal. 1 minute, 20 seconds, and Hansen announces himself to Utah's defense.
Watch his hands late on this. Okay, nice little release. Here at the end, he's a little hand combat right there. Up later, that's gradual level play by the wide receiver. You're always taught, use a chicken wing, they call it. Just a little bit with that elbow, a little bit of a tap. It's not going to be called. I understand Utah fans screaming at the TV right now saying that is offensive PI. But as you watch football in every conference, that really has not been called throughout this season.
51st catch for Chad Hansen this year, his 7th touchdown. A guy that was unrecruited out of high school. That sounds like a show, doesn't it? Talk about putting on a show? How about this new wide receiver? Scoring drive presented by Cooper Tires. 5 plays, this the 5th. Chad Hansen, I mean, this Cal team lost an entire squad of wide receivers after last season. Many of them are playing in the pros right now. And this guy was a backup here last year. And, I mean, it's a blast. Look at the explosive plays they've had, second only to Louisville.
His story is remarkable. Not one offer coming out of high school. Not one. I mean, not one offer. We're not talking UC Davis. No, nothing. And goes to Idaho State. Balls out as a freshman. Wants to move back. His aunt is sick. Says, you know what? I want to come back, be around her, be around my family.
He's from Southern California.
That's right. He sends letters. He and his dad, 10 to 15 letters a week. Got minimal response. All of a sudden, the wide receiver GA, David Grew at Cal, finds it and says, let's take a look at this guy. Now he's leading the nation.
So Cal kicks up. Noah Beto drives this ball back out the backside of the end zone. So we'll take a look at some difference makers now, presented by Nissan again for the Utah offense.
Well, we love the receiver we just talked about at Cal and Chad Hansen, but how about Timmy Patrick? You know, last year he was kind of that missing link with this team. Wasn't fully recovered from an injury, and he's been dominant in his games. And last week was amazing. He and Adoree Jackson went back and forth all game long. He obviously got the final say, but I like him. And J.J. Dielman moves across the offensive line from tackle to center now. And within this offense, a huge role. He's dominating that offensive line.
So in a year where there are many new quarterbacks, both with their schools and starting in the conference, here's another one. And Troy Williams immediately finds Patrick on the quick slant off the left side. A gain of 9. And Troy Williams has come in, and to expound a bit, Yogi, on what you talked about in the open. This guy was a Division I recruit. He went to Washington.
Yeah.
Didn't work there, transferred junior college for a year, and now to Utah. And what he displayed, he's strong, he can run, and the ability to strike through the air. They'll alternate a couple of running backs. That's a freshman, Zach Moss. He's been the busiest ball carrier so far for the Utes.
You know, it's interesting about Troy, and he's got full command of this system. I can remember him in high school. He and Davis Webb, both of them transfers, obviously, within their respective programs. They were both the same Elite 11 class. And I can remember we did a Navy SEAL training session. Both of them were there, 4 in the morning, and both of those guys didn't flinch at all. I mean, these are guys that love to compete, love high-stakes environments.
And Moss, and Cal banged him, but Moss didn't get a good first down gain. That's about 4 yards. And, of course, replacing Devontae Booker was a big mission for Utah this year. They thought Joe Williams was going to be the guy. That didn't last. So now they've turned to 2, one of them being a freshman, first-year player.
Yeah, Zach Moss out of Miami. And how about the job that Dennis Erickson did? I mean, he took 3 players from the same high school. Tyler Huntley, the backup quarterback. Demario Simpkins, who gets some burn at wide receiver. And Zach Moss. I mean, that's unheard of.
All right, so Utah in a 2nd and 6. Cal bring a run blitz off the corner. Utah runs right ahead with it. Again, remember the Utes last week against USC. They just came out in the first half and said, we're going to run, and you know we're going to run. And guess what? We're still going to run.
12 out of their first 12 plays, they ran the ball. I mean, they went all the way down the field. I mean, this is a team that prides itself on controlling the clock and controlling the game. And the way you do it is by running the football and converting 3rd and shorts.
Troy McCormick there coming off the field now, and so it's 3rd down. So here's the down, of course, that defines a defense. In this case, Cal, can they get off the field? Can they stop Shine? That's an Oakland native, Armand Shine, coming home, and he's going to be a little bit short by the mark. And so is Kyle Whittingham going to beat Riverboat Kyle this week?
I think he goes for it, no doubt. I mean, he's got such confidence in his offensive line. Let's remember, this was the strength. Everybody coming back after last year. They did not look impressive in the first game of the season. They've really put it together. He added that left tackle Garrett Bowles, the JC transfer, and here we are again.
Well, here it is. Utah converted 4 4th and 1s against USC. They have 4th down. It looks like a half a yard here. And they will run Shine, and he'll get it. Armand Shine crosses midfield. He was a little bit of a late add to the Utah offense. And this is a good sort of a homecoming game for him.
Well, just the confidence. They had a shot, Raymond Davison, with a missed tackle in the backfield, but when you can do this within your offensive unit, specifically the offensive line, you have a ridiculous amount of confidence that just continues to build on itself and say, you know what, you cannot stop us. Whether it's third down, fourth down, we are coming correct in the run game.
We were on the phone with Kyle Whittingham the other day, and I referenced him, Riverboat Kyle. He didn't take the bait. He didn't think it was a big deal going for him. That's a big deal, and it's well covered. So that snap got away from J.J. Dielman and well covered by Troy Williams. This is a guy, and again, first year playing center, J.J. Dielman.
Yeah, those are some intricacies that they really went to work on in the offseason when they made the change. They're on practice 13. They had an injury on the offensive line. And they say, hey, let's see if this guy can go play center, and he has, and he's taken over the position. You can't have those types of miscues in games of any Pac-12 magnitude.
So this tests any offense, and now you're pushed to 2nd and 16. Let's see if Utah tries to run for some yardage here. Well, Williams pulls the ball back and passes for some. Gives him a little better shot on third down. The catch by Damari Simpkins. But that's 6. It's still going to leave him 3rd and 11.
Well, what I like what Cal's doing early on, Ted, is they're bringing pressure off the edges. They've run a corner blitz twice already in this ball game, and while it hasn't gotten to either the running back on the run or that snap on Troy Williams, it's forcing the ball to get out, or it's forcing a cutback, so it's minimal gain.
And Cal's playing, by the way, without 2 starters in its secondary. Darius Allensworth and Evan Rambo both out today with injury. The Cal secondary depleted. Third down pressure. Looney got in. And Williams does not get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. James Looney, with the pressure right up the gut, was in Troy Williams' face.
Well, it's a new center in the ball game. J.J. Dielman, he's not on the field right now. Clearly right off the gut, James Looney pressure they take advantage of. Hopefully not that big of an injury.
Well, that's great state for Cal there, and it started. Utah's drive really stalled with the bad first down snap. Punt fair caught by Cal just inside the 10. Well, the Bears win the first segment of the game. They get a touchdown, and their defense is stopped. Pac-12 football is presented by Opus Bank, official bank of the Pac-12. By Dr. Pepper, it's a college football tradition. And by T-Mobile, ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier. Just a gorgeous day in Berkeley. And campus rather, just walking through the campus, coming to the stadium this morning. The place was abuzz. People love beautiful afternoon kickoff. Not so much right now for Utah. J.J. Dielman walking off, and here is Cal with a first down run that blasts the ball out to the 30 by Melquise Stovall.
We got a chance to see Stovall in the spring, a mid-year, mid here. He's really grown and progressed. It's such a young receiving core, but this guy is the future in the slot.
And so now Webb taking the shot down the field for Hansen again. Wait a minute. Did I just see an incomplete pass to Hansen? Stop me, Yogi.
It doesn't happen very often.
It
doesn't happen very often, that's for sure. But they rotate so many different wide receivers. I mean, 15 different players have caught at least one pass in this Cal offense. I mean, does that not help recruiting? I don't know what does if you're a skill player.
All right, second down. Vic and Wary getting the carry in a short game there. Good tackle. Chase Hansen. Each of these teams with a converted quarterback now playing safety. Hansen for the Utes, Benzer for Cal.
There are guys that got real burn at the quarterback position. I mean, they really played for each respective team.
All right, so Cal got out of the drive start hole, but now they face 3rd and 9. So the stack, 2 receivers to the very bottom. This time Webbs looks for the cross. He's got it, but good tackle. Dominic Hatfield with a terrific open field tackle. Wow, that's a very generous spot. From my call, they're saying a first down. And Cal wastes no time. They just got to the line, snapped the ball right away, and then Wary runs it across midfield. That really could frustrate Utah.
There really has to be, if you're Utah, you've got to be next snap mentality. And this isn't good. You see Aaron Cochran down, their left tackle. And you never want to see an injury, but also that left tackle spot,
Yes.
Patrick McCary, excuse me, he was a guy who's played, missed, hopefully get him back, but he's not at completely full strength, so.
See that huge man, Aaron Cochran. And that gets rolled into. And that, too often you see in line play, that's how you'll see an injury happen. The lineman gets rolled into from behind.
Yeah, and they rotate so many different positions. They rotate at center, they rotate at guard, they rotate at tackle.
Well, Cal took advantage. You get on a third pass to Wharton. It looked like a very generous spot, but they got the first down and ran another quick play to get a first. This time Utah bottles up and wary.
And that's the beauty of the tempo. You know, it's at some point you're thinking, okay, maybe I'll challenge a spot, but the next play's already ran.
Exactly.
You know, the assistants in the booth don't even have a chance to look to the Jumbotron or even talk about if that spot was generous or not.
That's Wharton in the motion for Cal. Little boot here by Davis Webb and then a full throw.
And he knows it. He tried too hard. I mean, when you're playing at such a high level at the quarterback position, the biggest challenge, honestly, is just take what they give you right there. See Vic Wharton, 17, just give him the ball. Don't make it too complex. And he knows it. You know, and that's the confidence game that you play. As a coach, you want to take that stinger away. But as a quarterback, you got to know, you know what, especially against a Utah defense, let's just take what they give us.
So now Cal has 3rd and 9. Sees double stack receivers, both top and bottom. And Webb comes to the near side for Hansen, incomplete. Actually sailed between Stovall, closer to the line, and Hansen. And so now Cal will have 4th down.
Now, the reason they're stacking their receivers is because there's so much press coverage.
That's to get them off the line of scrimmage, right?
Exactly. And a great job by Brian Allen of keeping his eyes to the quarterback. A lot of times in man coverage, your eyes are on the receiver, and you don't know where the ball is.
So the Utah defense forcing a punt here from Dylan Klump. And it's a line drive punt, so Hobbs will let that ball bounce, and Cal, no, they just missed downing it. Racing down the field there, Patrick Worstel got close to saving it, but that just gets in for the touchback. What a great weekend of finishes. Now Troy McCormick trying to reverse field, eventually runs into his own lineman, smothered for a huge loss. It looked like he might escape, squirm up the middle, but then he bumped into Isaac Asiata, his own lineman, and the play ends up being a loss of 5.
I'll tell you what, Cal's defense, and if we don't think student athletes here, the chatter, were mistaken. And last night you saw at UW, everybody talked about their offensive defensive line, wouldn't be able to handle it. They smoked Stanford on both sides. And we talked about Cal. Can their defensive line handle Utah up front? Thus far, they have.
Zach Moss now the back, alongside Troy Williams. He throws that slant again, and Patrick doesn't hold it. That pass is there for him. Working against Marleshon Franklin, newcomer this year to Cal.
Tell you what, injuries are a part of the game, but when you lose your center, it's a big deal. J.J. Dielman, unsure if he was going to return, but Lo Falamaka struggled on that last snap. James Looney, he's literally lining right up over him, and it's mano a mano.
Utah's missing another offensive weapon today. Corey Butler-Bird. Don't see him here at all. Don't see him on the sideline. 3rd down. And Williams misfires to the far sideline, intended for Raylon Singleton. Butler-Bird, we don't have no official word from Utah itself. Bill Riley, the voice of the Utes, told me just before kickoff that Butler-Bird would not be here today. No reason given. But that's another offensive weapon gone.
Yeah, no doubt. You'll see Kyle Fultz, Tyrone Smith, Raylon Singleton step up their game. Receivers that have been in the program.
There's Wishnowski with the punt away, and Cal's going to have a terrific drive start here as the punt gets fair caught. So while the Cal offense comes out, here's our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, which again highlight what Cal football has been so far this season. That's astounding.
Yeah, talk about the emotions. I mean, that's crazy. But I'll tell you what, this defense has come out. They've played well, you know, and again, I can't emphasize enough, losing the starting center, at least thus far, J.J. Dillman for Utah, that hurt them on that last drive, couldn't protect.
Davis Webb, 5 of 9 passing so far, 1 touchdown to Chad Hansen. The swing throw here to Watson. You think about the difference in these two teams, the different ways they play football. When you see the Cal has scored a ton of points in the first half this year. And we saw last week at Arizona State where they faded second half, especially got beaten pretty badly in the fourth quarter. Watson stretching that out as far as he could. That's a terrific job. And then, in honoring one of the great sports at Cal, rugby. Jack Clark, the longtime rugby coach here, was just honored during the last time out, and the football players employ a little rugby push there to buy 5 extra yards.
That's impressive. You don't see that happen very often to Utah on the defensive front when they rally to the football.
But look at that. Cal has scored more points in the first half this year than Utah has in full games. That just gives you an idea what the difference is. But right now, Cal is getting the edge. They're getting outside with runs, and Trey Watson takes it inside the Utah 40.
Well, it's a great block. You'll see number 11, Ray Hudson, at the left side of your screen, kind of come right back. Whoop, you think I'm going out to the flats? I'm not. Incredible job by him. And I think it's important to recognize Jake Spavital, their offensive coordinator. This is not just throw seam routes, throw hitch routes, throw post routes. He's got a variety of tools in this offensive toolbox, and he's showcasing them with misdirection runs, misdirection throws, screens, etc.
They got big Malik McMorris in the game. He's blocking here, and Webb has got a man. He has Robertson for the Cal touchdown. Now the Cal offense is winning the first round decisively.
It's an incredible job, quarterback Davis Webb. Just watch his eyes. He's going to look down in between the hashes. Post, post, post. No! I'm going to the wheel route down the sideline. Holds the safeties. And you watch Davis Webb on film. The 2 picks late against Arizona State, his eye discipline was not what it needed to be. That's an incredible job of redirecting his eyes. Touchdown, Cal.
It's the very thing we talked to Sonny Dykes about yesterday, was about those things, those fourth quarter picks where clearly one of them stared down. How would Davis Webb respond to that? Put up an answer in the first quarter, isn't he?
Well, no flinch. I mean, you get to know Davis Webb, son of a coach, been around the game. We talked to him yesterday. I said, what do you love more, football or competing? And he goes, man, it's close. Because this is a guy who last week, after losing to Arizona State, came off the bus, came into the film room until 4:30 in the morning and made cut-ups for his wide receivers based on the game. Are you kidding me? I mean, that has risen the level of expectations for the building, let alone the quarterback and receiver position rooms.
Well, he's a Texan, and we all know how many great quarterbacks come out of Texas. And I had heard this, but I asked him yesterday for the first time face-to-face, and he considers still his favorite sport hockey. He played hockey, even growing up in Frisco, Texas. He played hockey until he was, I think it was 12, he said, to the point where you're going to have to really start traveling distances to play, and that's when he stopped. Loves hockey, loves the Dallas Stars. I couldn't believe it. I made him tell me to my face. Who'd have thought of that, a Texas quarterback?
He's an incredible young man. I mean, his resiliency, his ability to come here, master this offense, and demand high expectations from everyone around him.
Troy McCormick is going to run this back for Utah. And he's going to be pinned and stopped just shy of the 25-yard line. Well, that was a fifth-year senior, Davis Webb, throwing to a first-year player, and Demetrius Robertson has made his impact on Cal football. Cindy?
Guys, he played so many positions in high school because he was so effective skill-wise at so many different positions. He had to edit himself, he told me. He played 7 different positions in high school. He said it took him a minute to get on the same page as Davis Webb with concentrating on just one skill position.
It's a great report. I mean, this is Cal beat Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia for a guy in the South.
He's from Savannah, Georgia.
I mean, that's unheard of. You got to be a special young man.
All right, here's Patrick trying to make a big play, and does. And Tim Patrick's going to be out close to midfield. Well, Utah came back. They were down in the fourth quarter at home last week against USC. This one, they can't afford to have Tim Patrick. He's their go-to man. Can't afford him banged up.
No doubt, and they love this run-pass option. They call it RPO system, where Troy Williams gets to decide whether hand it off or throw it. He's been seeing the field extremely clean in terms of where are their passing windows. Nice job by him on the read. Hopefully Patrick comes back.
That's a 22-yard first down play to Patrick. Out for this down. Williams swings. Armand Shine. Mentioned a homecoming for him. He's from Oakland. And a first-year player at Utah, coming out of a junior college. But Utah already banged up. And again, this they can't afford.
Oh, I mean, you're talking about two cornerstones of their offense. We're not even 15 minutes into this ball game. J.J. Dillman, the center, and Tim Patrick. To me, you know, through the first month of the season, he's first-team All-Pac-12 wideout. I mean, he's been that dominant.
And Coach is very open with us on the phone this week, talking about how they counted on that last year from Tim Patrick, but they lost him injuries. Took him out last year. Ooh. Well, there was trying to throw the slant the other side. That's Tyrone Smith, and he's the receiver that's taking the place of Corey Butler-Bird in the Utah rotation.
Yeah, no doubt. And he didn't play in the last couple games, and taking the place of Butler-Bird. Obviously now got to step for Timmy Patrick. And let's keep in mind Britton Covey on his mission, one of the top newcomers last year in the entire country in the slot for them last year.
All right, Utah hoping to keep this drive alive. Will need a third down conversion. 3 first downs so far for the Utes, 8 for Cal. Oh, there's a terrific catch. Well, not sure how Devontae Downs missed that ball. Let's see in the replay. But Tyrone Smith caught it, and it's a Utah first.
Well, Troy Williams, he's done this a couple times this year. Kind of ear holes it right behind the defender. Okay. Great focus on the catch. Luke Rebenzer on the tackle. But it's waiting for that second window. In the run-pass option game, it's all about the quarterback being able to pull the trigger on a moment's notice in that second window on slants.
That's it. That's, as we all hear more and more talk about football in these quick pass games, that's it. Can you wait, right, as a quarterback? Can you wait to the second or even the third?
Yep.
Troy McCormick gets the handoff. Again, one of 3 running backs that Utah will rotate, similar to Cal when theirs are healthy.
You know, that offensive line, in that drive where they lost Dillman, the next 2 drives, they really struggled. You see them now kind of solidifying, finding a little unity, and you hate to minimize injuries, but if you lose a tackler or a guard, you can kind of just put the next guy in. You lose a center, and there's so many elements. They're calling protections, they're communicating the entire offensive line, and he was playing at an all-conference level in J.J. Dillman.
Noah Westerfield made that tackle for Cal. 3-yard first down play. Ooh. Pressure again. Good avoid by Williams. To the end zone here. And just beyond the fingertips of Simpkins. Troy Williams, terrific job to elude what would have been a big hit there from Evan Weaver.
They pull the front side guard. They still get pressure in the interior. Again, this Cal defensive line's getting a nice job getting some penetration. And had a step on Marleshon Franklin.
Yogi, wouldn't you think of it? To me, the most startling part of this first quarter is the Cal D line against an offensive line that's so highly regarded.
No doubt. You know, Cal's equal pretty much in time of possession, which never happens for them.
So third down again. Make the motion. Shine gets it. Big gain. And a Utah first by Armand Shine. And we should finish that point by saying Utah themselves admitted they felt their offensive line play wasn't as sharp the first couple of games, but very sharp against USC.
Yeah, offensive line coach, co-offensive coordinator Jim Harding. He gets those guys going. He's really hard on them in practice. Incredible job blocking there. And I think he and co-OC Aaron Roderick, who we talked to on the field pregame, you'll see more misdirections now. I think we'll see more fly sweeps. We got to slow down that pass rush and those linebacker fits, try to open up a crease like they did in the previous snap.
All right, Shine stays in as the back. It's first down Utah. Deepest, they've moved the ball in the first quarter. Shine spins. Cal, I would think they'd be happy with how they defensed first down runs in this quarter. They're holding them 3, 4. That's okay.
No doubt, and really their linebacker fits. You know, it's an impressive job. Remember, they lose a captain in Hardy Nickerson. That linebacker decided to go play at Illinois prior to the season. I thought they were going to have him. They've had some injuries throughout this team. When you look just overall on defense, we talked about the guys in the secondary, but Griffin Pyatt, Demarie Drew,
secondary's been decimated.
Evan Rambo. I mean, these guys, the safeties that are fitting the middle of the field.
McCormick motions. Williams pulls it. He's going to throw to McCormick. not much there anyway, even if you had caught that ball. So it'll be third down again, and that's where Utah is having some difficulty here. They're having to convert third and longs in this possession.
Utah usually has success on those early downs. First downs, they get the second and short. Utilize that passing game that's come onto the scene this year. Third and short, or third long, has not been an area where they've thrived throughout the season.
And Tim Patrick has not come back. He's still being tended to, and he's hobbling off a table, walking toward the Utah locker room. Third down on the field. Pressure again. And that'll be out of bounds, so let's see what Kyle Whittingham does. McCormick is going to be a good distance short, about 4 short of the first down. Tim Patrick is actually running a little bit right now behind the Utah bench. He's apparently testing out the injured leg. And Utah's going to take the quarter break here to think about what they want to do. They'll have 4th down and 4 at the Cal 22. What's your call, Yogi? Break.
You got 2 teams right now, at least for Utah. They're stunned a little bit. See if they can regroup. Go for it here on 4th down. Might as well. This is this team.
I think he kicks. We'll see. All right, this is a concern for Utah, obviously. I mean, they are playing next men up right now. Center J.J. Dielman, we're told, is not coming back. Foot in the boot. Don't know yet about Tim Patrick. And meanwhile, during the quarter break, Kyle Whittingham does bring out his good kicker, Andy Phillips. Been so strong now in his 4th year. 40 yards. Just wanting to get points out of the best drive so far. All right, so Utah gets 3, and I'm up 1-0 on Yogi. How about that?
Good call.
All right. You can pay me on Telegraph after the game. Pac-12 football presented by Opus Bank. Well, Cal on its homecoming day hosting Utah again. First time Utah's been to Strawberry Canyon. First time they've seen Tightwad Hill as members of the Pac-12 Conference. And Cal won the first quarter. They won it pretty decisively. Now can Utah had some key people banged up, although Tim Patrick is walking on the sideline. He still has his helmet, so it looks like he's going to try to give it a go when Utah next has the ball. How does Utah respond as Wisnowski kicks off? All right, that's a bad kickoff. Wow, that's going to give Cal a drive start out close to midfield as we go back to our studios for a game break with Ashley Adamson. All right, Ashley, so here, that out-of-bounds kickoff gives Cal this terrific drive start, 35-yard line. So that's, if I'm a special teams coach, that just can't happen.
No, you need Cal to drive the length of the field. When they've had short fields, they've scored the majority of times this year.
All right, Webb gives it off. And Wary gets a couple off the left side. So off early actions. It seems like Alfani Muhammad may not be available for Cal today, and so far they've used Wary and Watson.
And they're going to keep trying to run the football. You know, as we've talked about, Lolo today, he's out, hasn't played this game. Kylie Fitz injured a couple weeks ago. He's not going to be back. Trying to find the edge against this defense.
McMorris, the big guy in there, they throw against it, and it's well played by Hansen of Utah. So Chase Hansen in there to bust that up to Robertson. Trying to use the big McMorris there as a decoy to block going right. So a minus play there leaves Cal with a long third. They load up 3 receivers. Wide side of the field.
Always keep an eye right there. There's Hansen.
And there's Allen on him. That's the matchup. Hansen won for a touchdown early.
Man coverage.
A little pressure, forcing Webb out. And still able to get it. To who else? It almost feels like there's magic there. To the 48 of Utah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, they get the pressure up front. Hunter Dimick's all over the backfield. Davis Webb calmly glides to his right. All right, let me just throw it across my body for a first down.
And Morgan Scalley dialed up a little extra rush. He brought 5 in there to force Webb out of the pocket. Now comes back to the near side. Good smack there to dislodge Singleton from the football. Let's take a look at this 21-yard play.
See the pressure. The offensive line completely breaks down for Cal. Davis Webb, he doesn't flinch. He just glides to his right. And let me just throw it across my body. Thing you're taught not to do. And the best part of Chad Hansen, coming back to the football. Attacks the football, knows there's going to be a defender right behind him. And then immediately gets north and south up the field, first down.
That's a great phrase, too. That, watching him, that's exactly what you sense.
Yeah.
He didn't let the football come to him. 2 catches for 61 for Hansen. The touchdown early. There's a throw. Hudson bounces off a man. Flag is down as well. Back near the spot of the throw, and it's coming back. A hold against Cal.
Holding, offense number 79, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
And so they are with the big left tackle Cochran out. Patrick McCary is playing.
Yeah, they try to rotate these guys a lot. You see him just grab them, tackle them right to the ground. That's an easy call. And when you miss a couple games, you don't get to see the tempo that Utah has on the defensive front in practice. And clearly, you've obviously missed a few legitimate game reps and that type of speed, especially a week ago, Arizona State, they were humming off the edge.
So 2nd and 20 now for Cal. First penalty against the Bears in the game, and let's see if there's another one here. It didn't get that off in time. Back judge comes in.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, these are just unforced errors.
So now Webb has 3 to the bottom. That's the wide side. Looking for a screen to Singleton's got some blocking. Nope. Utah hangs in there. Defends that well. Terrell Burgess on that tackle. Of course, a long third here for Cal. Numbers don't mean much when it's 3rd and 21.
And again, you just got to find out where 6 is.
Utah's shading, giving him that space off the line here on the long 3rd down. Pressure, and Webb to the sideline. He'll get Hansen, but well short of the first down. It's a catch to the Utah 49. It'll be 4th down and 11.
Utah changes up their defensive coverage. Last time when it was 3rd and long, they decided to play man across the board. This time they play zone. Here we are. Now don't be surprised. Davis Webb can punt in this situation. Yes. But Utah's flustered personnel-wise right now.
Trying to catch. So Utah takes a timeout, so they didn't want to get caught in a bad spot there. So if nothing else, that little move by Cal forces Utah to burn a TO. So here we are in game 5, and there's where Chad Hansen ranks. He's believed to be the first Cal receiver, double-digit receptions and 100-yard receiving games in 4 consecutive games. That's what he's done to start the season.
He's been berserk. I mean, he really has been dominant in his games. Not just productive, but dominant versus every coverage, every look, each type of defense.
And already a touchdown catch today. 2 long touchdown passes by Webb. As Hobbs will field that on a bounce. Not a whole lot to go. And that's just returner's mistake. Just a returner's mistake. Hobbs did get back to about the spot where he fielded the ball on the bounce. You really can't go backwards when you're inside your own 10-yard line.
No, and that's kind of the unwritten rule. You know, returner heels on the 8, heels on the 10. You don't see that very often with Utah. You know, it's usually a position of strength. And there's Kyle Whittingham. You see him talking to him. Coach Whittingham does a lot on special teams.
So Utah pinned deep. The play count, of course, is what's more factor. Time of possession not terribly relevant in these up-tempo offenses, but the play count right now is just about even. It's just the Cows made their plays count.
Utah has not found any rhythm on offense.
There's a decent first down run by Zach Moss, and wrapped up by Cameron Saffel, who's coming off a terrific game at ASU last week.
And he's 51. A great story.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy last year against Utah when he burned his red shirt. You know, weren't sure if they were going to play him. And he's a unique athlete. They got him out of the state of Washington, which doesn't happen very often with Chris Peterson, obviously, but plays with great effort, to be quite honest. He's named the
Is he running for governor, by the way, next month?
He could if he wants to. You kidding me?
Second down, Moss going to cut inside, and you saw where he cut inside. See number 12 there on the left of your picture. Tim Patrick's back out there, so he's giving it a shot. You'll have to watch carefully when he runs around.
Yeah, well, it looks like it was an ankle. At least that's kind of what they were working on with him on the sideline. And if you're a receiver and it's an ankle injury, you know, if it's not severe, if it's not a high sprain, you want to keep moving on it, because if you don't, it's just going to either swell up or it's going to get stiff. So the best thing is just to see if you can move around.
A 7-yard run there by Moss and a Utah first. Cal shifting on that 4-man front. And there's Patrick running it. And Patrick had it. Patrick doesn't have it anymore. Who does have it? And let's see. Of course, this always comes down to completed pass, fumble, or incomplete. Ruling is going to be Cal recovery.
On the field, there's a catch, fumble, recovered by the defense. First down, Cal.
Kyle Whittingham wants to see it again.
Well, it's the right ankle of Tim Patrick, and he just comes on the slant a little too gingerly. You know, it's almost like as he's getting tackled, he's worried, all right, let's make sure I don't fall and hurt my ankle or get you know, rolled up on.
Oh, I think, that angle may be the one. He has a catch for sure. Don't you think, Yogi?
Yeah, clean
catch. The ball out before he hits the ground. And that previous, the end zone shot, it looked like it was. That's Jalen Hawkins getting a lot of love on the Cal sideline. Patrick frustrated. This is the angle that may be the determining, maybe the best view.
Ground
no,
cannot
actually he's down.
It.
He's down there. Was the ball out? Yeah, this is a tough one. See, Hawkins getting a lot of love, but it was the newcomer Wokocha, Chibuzo Wokocha, that actually wraps up Patrick here in the cover.
Catch.
And he's down there. Is the ball out?
Yeah, you're right. This is the best angle right here.
7's going to obscure just enough. Let's see. He's down there.
Yeah, I think he's down. I think it's enough to overturn that.
There's actually the Utah player coming in and obscuring the view. Chris Coit is our referee, so clearly on the headsets with the replay booth here and Command Central in San Francisco.
I mean, number one, it's a huge play if Cal maintains the ball, but also we got to talk about Tim Patrick, and is he healthy enough to keep going in this ball game? Didn't look as strong as he does on slant routes traditionally.
Patrick is he's standing on this Utah sideline holding the helmet in his hand. And again, we get into the whole situation here of the call on the field, which was, and we often see that in those kinds of situations, the call is let the play go. You can deaden the play much more easily.
Yep, no doubt.
Do you need conclusive video to overturn a field call, which was fumble recovery Cal? This one's not easy.
Yeah,
this one's not easy.
No, definitely not. But I enjoy when they take the time to really go through every angle. They see every angle that we all see right here and at home. But I think there's enough to overturn it.
At first view, I thought it was going to be the ball out, but I'm not sure. The more we've seen that left knee may have been down. All right, here's Chris Coit with the verdict.
After review, the receiver completed the catch and his knee was down with possession of ball at the 26-yard line. The ball belongs to Utah, second down.
All right, so there's a saving play there for Utah. Cindy?
Be happier about that play going Utah's way than Patrick. He was so frustrated when he came off under the official review. He threw his helmet so far, his teammate Singleton had to collect it for him. He said, I didn't fumble, coach, we're gonna get the ball back.
Yeah, Cindy, and he's right. He's also on the sideline here on the on the play. It's a second down play. That's now a first down gain. On the pass, that's the first time Kyle Fulks has been targeted. Tim Patrick, a big body that is so coveted now as a receiver, and in the football sense, he knows how to use it.
Oh, he's playing at such a high level. And when your mind's thinking I could do one thing and your body's saying, I don't know if I can explode off of that right ankle, that's total frustration.
So here's Shine busting it out, and Armand Shine running it up close to the line to gain. Good first down run for Utah. Well, that will be something that will make their life much better.
There's no doubt, and you're seeing them right now. After that play and catch by Patrick, they're saying, no, we're going to run the football. This is our identity. As much as they've thrown the ball and won the game against C a week ago because of the passing game, the throw game, as Kyle Whittingham likes to call it, this is a team that's identity is built up front, pounding the rock, and they're going to try to see if they can wear down this Cal defensive front.
Second down and 1. Three receiver game, but Tim Patrick still is on the sideline. Quick throw there, but that's a low throw, and that's just a mistake by the quarterback, because Fulks, even if he catches that, he can't go anywhere.
Yeah, Troy Williams, he's been off a little bit this afternoon. You know, he missed a comeback route in the first quarter. That is, inexcusable. You got to make that completion. You throw those every day in practice. He's been completing them the last couple games as well. He's playing as well as any quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, that's the pitch and catch throw that's just supposed to get you a couple yards and an easy first down. Now it's 3rd and 1. Williams is 8 of 15, 67 yards passing. He's thrown 15 already. That's a story. So now they will run it, and let's see where that mark is. This is going to be forward progress. Shine may not have gotten there.
And it's Cameron Saffel, and then everybody just rallies to the football. You'll see him at the bottom of your screen. He just stays squared. He fights off 1 block, 2 blocks. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, everybody rallies to the party, and Kari Vanderbilt leading the way. But that's an incredible job by him. This is a sophomore. This guy's not, grown as much as a lot of the defensive linemen have in terms of maturity standpoint and his body, but he just plays so hard. They talk about him in practice, and he's just so relentless. Great job utilizing his hands to get off the block.
That's exactly, Yogi. That was a perfect example of that, right? Defensive lineman not. You can see it. Utah wanted this measurement to give themselves time. And this one, I think Kyle Whittingham will go. What do you think?
I think so, too.
Even though it's his own side of the 50-yard line.
And it's interesting.
Less than a yard.
In the zone read game, a lot of times defensive ends want to turn their hips. We'll see right how. This is a great time to call the zone read at times, just to see if you can get a Cal defense over pursuit.
Zach Moss, the back, behind Williams. Out of his side. 4th down run's going to get it. Put a bigger body out there to help lead the way with a block as well, and it helps Utah get the first.
Oh, Jalen Hawkins, he had his shot right there.
But Ken Hampel, a tight end, out there to help block. Well, as you said, the 4th downs they went for, including the end of the game against USC, was the one that was mind-blowing, because with Andy Phillips, you figured that was a sure field goal and overtime. Game was on the line. Whittingham went for it. Utah won. Here's Patrick back in, working the opposite side there, and he makes the catch just across the 50.
He's hobbling. It's a simple, quick game out route. I mean, that is not full speed Tim Patrick. No. We've seen him run routes, whether it's pregame, on game film.
So at what point, if you're on the Cal side, you say get up and press him?
Right now, you have to. I think
make him beat you back.
100%. Yeah. The only throw they'll be able to beat me on if I'm a corner is back shoulder throws, and it's going to have to be perfect. But I'm up in his grill, You'll see him at the bottom of your screen right now. Right there.
And it's a second down give to Moss, and Moss drives ahead. Cal ripped at the football there. They didn't really tackle, and Moss is able to get a first down. Watch Westerfield come in here. Looks like he's trying to rip the ball out. And Moss winds up getting the first. Well, Utah's in a situation here. They took a couple of shots in the first quarter, Yogi. 2 long touchdown passes by Cal. If Utah can score on this drive, you're not to halftime yet, but you're closing in on it. They're very much in this thing. Williams sets up inside screen. Cal had that kind of covered on all flanks. Tyrone Smith doesn't catch the ball.
Check out Evan Weaver at the top of the screen on this. This is really what makes the play. It's where everybody wants to go at the top. It's right up top, okay? You're going to see Troy Williams. He's going to want to throw the screen to his left. See him break. This is a true freshman, Ted. This is a true freshman. Doesn't play a ton. Out of Gonzaga Prep in Spokane, Washington. He reads the screen, forces Troy Williams to come backside. Defense is all over.
So second down, Utah. Got a lot of space there. So Raylan Singleton will have a Utah first down inside the Cal 30.
It's going to be interesting to see what Cal and defensive coordinator Art Kaufman does, because now if all of a sudden you want to play off coverage and keep everything in front of you, Troy Williams will pick you apart.
Well, that cushion was way too much.
Ridiculous, right? But if you want to get up and press, if Utah's going to keep running the ball, all of a sudden now my eyes are turned to the offense, and you can see explosive runs as they get to the second level. So it's that game of chess, which is why we love football so much, happening right before our eyes.
Pitch back, going to the end zone, not there. Incomplete throw by Williams. Wilson was the wide receiver running down the field. Looked like that might be the target. Yossi Wilson, and Cal had him covered.
Well, they had the opportunity to run a corner route here, and you're going to see Luke Rabenzer, former quarterback. He's just playing free safety, reads it all day long, all over that bad boy. Shut down the trick play.
Well, Yogi, we were talking even on the field before the game. Some of the Utah coaches were talking about Kyle Whittingham's thing is control the game. Control the tempo. Right now, this will be the 35th play for Utah, just 23 for Cal.
Well, that's one of those first few drives. They've controlled the game.
Now McCormick trying to pick his way. Nice job. Boy, Troy McCormick did that very well as the running back and winds up gaining 7.
Incredible patience. You see this offensive line? How about the feet by Sam Tevi? I mean, that's athletic. That's an impressive job. He hasn't allowed a sack all season long. They say he's the most athletic of the offensive linemen, the senior out of Texas.
You love that. That was the left guard at the very end, 54, Asiata, the left guard all the way out on the right numbers. And when McCormick said he cut behind him, that was really something. Now 3rd and 3. Shine to the middle. Shine. He's not going to be there. Tried to bull straight ahead. He's going to be close, but this is going to give. Kyle Whittingham is in that 4th down mode here. It's going to be another 4th down decision.
And this one's tricky.
It's about a yard.
They're going for it, but keep in mind, Utah's going to get the ball coming out of the half, so this is an interesting one.
Now this is a full yard now.
This is all right here. James Looney, number 9 for Cal. He's got to find some penetration inside.
Tight end Hampel sliding. Shine gets it. Shine should have enough. Yeah, he definitely has enough. Look at him. But he came out the other side of that pile and drives it down inside the 15. And the Utes are driving right into their section of fans, the red section. And
how about the center? To me, I mean, after the first 2 drives, Falamaka's held his own. And that's what you got to do at center. You know, we talked to J.J. Dealman, who's been out since that injury in the first quarter, about playing, and it's about having a body on you so quickly, getting your hands up after the snap. He's done a nice job after his first 2 initial drives.
So now can Utah finish this drive? Shine trying. Armon Shine is down near the 6. All right, let's go back down to the field with Cindy.
Right now, the game is going exactly the way Kyle Whittingham hoped it would. Dominate time of possession. They lead the Pac-12 in that category. They've chewed up more than 16 minutes on the clock. Grind, grind, grind. It's just the way he draws it up.
And the best part of that is that it keeps Cal's offense off the field.
Whoa, Zach Moss. Well, that's one. That'll be interesting. Let's pull that back, Yogi. Does the quarterback need to keep that ball? Vanderbilt right there on the run blitz for Cal.
Well, we'll take a look at it. It's that simple zone read.
Yeah.
They're on a slide backside. You're kind of dead either way. Incredible job by Rebenzer playing the quarterback, Vanderbilt playing the back. And you're always taught, if it's ugly, just give it. Just give the run, see if that guy can do something versus a quarterback trying to make a play in the backfield. Because all of a sudden it could be a 10-yard loss versus what just happened.
All right, well, this has been some drive for Utah, but now they face 3rd down and 8. Moss, the running back. No Tim Patrick. End zone throw, receiver down, incomplete. Singleton went down. And Utah going to be frustrated because this is a long drive with a lot of possession, and now they're, let's see, is there a flag?
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 51. Half the distance to the goal.
Wow.
Automatic first down.
Well, that's a killer. Saffold. Sonny Dykes talked to us yesterday. He used a word. Well, let's see. First, let's see what happens.
He's going to be at the bottom of the screen.
So he was close to the quarterback. Something clearly went on at the end. And Sonny Dykes used a word yesterday with us when we talked to him, and I asked him about the Vic Enweri play here 2 weeks ago against Texas, and he said it was about as selfish a move as a teammate can have, and that's that kind of penalty. Now we don't know what he did. We don't know what he did, but that's just a
It's terrible.
galling penalty. The 1st and goal, Utah. They need to take advantage. Williams goes right out at the 5. Didn't try to cut it back in. All right, now we're going to see from another view. Do we see the tail end here?
Oh, there it is. 100%. You cannot throw slash.
Oh,
you can't do that.
Okay, yeah, there it is.
100%. That gets called every time. It's been called all across the country. It's a selfish move. He deserves to get called out. They deserve the penalty on that.
Oh, that's automatic. You're exactly right.
And it's too bad. I mean,
glad our crew caught the very tail end of that. That's well done.
And that could be a game changer.
And that is, and you know what? Sonny Dykes is right. That is selfish.
Yeah.
2nd and goal. Armand Shine running hard to the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Utah. Well, that was a marathon drive by the Utes, kept alive by the personal foul penalty, the unsportsmanlike conduct foul, and finally, on their 20th play, they cash in.
You know, how do you beat Cal's explosive offense? Hold the ball for 9 straight minutes, 20 plays, and run the rock. I mean, that, as Cindy mentioned, is exactly what Kyle Whittingham hoped to do. It didn't start that way, but they settled down.
The ruling of a touchdown is under review.
We'll take a look at the touchdown, but 20 plays. That's impressive. As an offensive line unit, just to keep marching and marching. Obviously got some massive help on the personal foul. We'll see if that knee was down. That's close, Ted. What do you think?
Well, where's the ball? Isn't that where it's supposed to be, where the ball is?
Yeah, that previous
when
angle was the best
down?
one.
Yeah.
Here it is. If you can hold it right, ball. I think it's going to come back. I think they're going to get it on the 8-yard line. They get 21 plays. You know.
Yeah. Armand Shine, who. So this is a homecoming game for him. Skyline High School in Oakland, a well-known football school in the West. Went to American River College. That's where Utah got him again. He was a late ad this year. It's fit right into their running back rotation.
Yeah, well, look, they need a running back at Utah.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
I personally like that. I don't think replays you get into parsing that kind of play, because when the knee goes down, the ball's across the plane of the goal line.
Yeah, I thought it was a hair short,
Yeah.
but speaking of shine, that's exactly where they got Devontae Booker. Same junior college.
Yeah.
Kind of pumping out the backs for the Utes. That's a huge drop.
So Phillips out for the point. Well, about 17 plays ago, I think we said that, right? If Utah could score on this drive, it'd be a good thing for him. Guess what? It's only a 4-point game, 2 minutes in the half. Ashley Curtis, Nick Ronnie will all be along with the State Farm halftime report. And there are some fabulous finishes. Of course, we're not seeing them, so we're going to sit here. Trust us, Ashley. We're going to sit here. Yogi and I are going to watch with you as you show us those great finishes at the State Farm halftime report. And we got to say, we're, having been in Eugene last week, happy to see for CU that they backed up their win last week with a strong home field today. Trey Watson fields the short kick. Utah trying to cover it well. Watson survives to push it out to the 24. And that's where Cal will start. Wake that offense up. They've been on the sideline a while. It was like a 3.5-hour film, that drive. You have to remember, wait a minute, what'd they say an hour into the film? We always forgot about the Tim Patrick overturned call.
No doubt. I mean, an impressive drive. It could have gone the other way really quickly. You know, it was in Cal territory. All of a sudden we thought, oh, is it going to be a turnover? Clearly they do not rule that happen. It gets overturned, and away Utah goes, and as you dive back into it, they utilized the run game. They followed this offensive line. They followed the running backs. They sprayed a variety of different playmakers in the game. And then, of course, they got a little help.
Yep.
The right call on sportsmanlike conduct on Cameron Saffel led to a touchdown. Easy score. Utes back in this ball game, no problem. Momentum is completely shifted. And Cal players, they got to make sure they're loose on the sideline, as you mentioned.
So, quick throw, and there's Utah to smother. Well, trying to get a fast screen, and all over that's Brian Allen.
And the thing to keep in mind is that when one side of the ball is on the field, the other side, the coaching staff, the coordinators for Utah, talking about their defensive coordinator, Morgan Scall, they're saying, okay, what did they do? What do we need to slow down? What do we need to rearrange our defensive coverage? What worked for us? So now you come back out with, you could already have made your quote-unquote halftime adjustments in that last drive.
Well, here's the one thing that happens when you play the up-tempo and you get hit by a long drive, 20 plays, you can't go 3 and out. And Cal's going to be in danger of that one. That ball was bounced. I don't know why Trey Watson thought he was going to pick it up and run, but that ball was bounced into him, so it's going to be 3rd down and long, and Utah finally starting to get a little bit into Davis Webb here.
Oh, they're getting after it with just their front four, which this is Utah football, right? That's why their secondary is lauded. It's why we talk about that back end. They want to disrupt the timing with press coverage and not bring an extra defender. Just get after it with the front four.
Big left tackle Cochran is back in the game for Cal, but now the Bears face a long third. And again, a team that doesn't have many 3 and outs doesn't want to have one here and give Utah, in essence, a free possession before halftime.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
And you have any idea why that's happened? That's 2 on your home field that shouldn't happen.
No, it's trying a little too hard. You know, the best thing that Utah does defensively, in my opinion, is change looks. Yeah. Change looks late. I mean, they wait and wait and wait. And when it's a critical down distance, they're going to change looks.
They're bringing extra people, forcing a quick throw up the field, and it's intercepted. Allen with the interception. Well, this works out beautifully for Utah. They are going to get basically a possession with house money here. 1:03 to go in the half. 2 timeouts, and they get the ball first in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they're going to take a shot down the left sideline. They get a little pressure up front from Hunter Dimick and the rest of the crew up top. And then Brian Allen utilized that size against a true freshman, Demetrius Robertson. Yes, he's played a lot of positions and not a lot of DB, and that's the one where you got to play in terms of knocking the ball down.
So Brian Allen, and that's the word you used, Yogi. The coaches we asked the other day, they said length, 6'3". That's what everybody's looking for, those corners now.
Well, to jam at the line of scrimmage, Then he runs with them.
Yep. All right, so here's Utah, and a terrific opportunity for the Utes. Cal won the first quarter. Utah's winning the second. By how much? That's what we'll find out in the next minute and 3. And Williams will get yardage to the sideline. That'll be a first down throw. That's Evan Moiai. First catch for the tight end.
If I'm Cal right now, I'm bringing an extra defender. You know, they're playing with 3 defensive linemen. I'm bringing somebody extra, just trying to get the ball out of Troy Williams' hand and playing press coverage. I get that's how you can get beat deep, but the top pass receiver right now, Tim Patrick, we're not seeing him. You know, and even if he does come on the field, he's not a huge threat.
Doesn't look like he's going to play. Patrick is standing on the sideline. He still has his helmet, but doesn't look like he's poised to play. Shine as the back stays in the block. Williams is thrown for the end zone for Tyron Smith, just off his fingertips. And running against the freshman there, Josh Drayden.
That's a great job, man. It's a great call. It's off coverage, it's a slant and go. I mean, it's a perfect call from Aaron Roderick, their co-OC. Inside slant, the youngster bites on it, just misses. But if you want to play off coverage,
back in the 1890s when I played,
I
love calling this sluggo. Wouldn't you love that?
All day long. I mean, it's
you were
Bill Walsh is where he started it, right here in the Bay Area. Sluggo win. Called it God's play when I was coaching at USC. Not power, Sluggo win.
2nd and 10. This time go with a short screen to Fulks. Kyle Fulks takes it to the 30. That's going to force Utah to use a timeout. They have 4 yards to gain. And timeout available.
This is on Troy Williams right here. This is going to be the master of specific situations. You know, they talk about him being a film junkie. They literally have to kick him out of the office on Thursday nights. Speaking of film junkies, how about Steven Montez?
Telling you, what did I say last week?
Wally Pipp, you called it.
Wally Pipp. I mean, and it's not, look, nothing's fair, okay?
Right.
Nothing's fair. If you're Sefo Liufau, it may not be fair, but that's a hot hand.
Hey, what's crazy is
we've
Sefo
all
was
seen
hot
it
too.
happen.
Sefo's completing over 70% of his passes.
Yeah.
That game.
Shea Fields, and that's, I think our takeaway, Yogi, last week was the Colorado receiving corps.
They're legit.
Mature.
Yeah, they're legit. And you look at Utah's receiving corps, you know, their 3rd year in the program now, and you're talking about Singleton and some of these players, Tyron Smith, he's been here for a couple of years. You'd like to see that maturity, that growth. But the Buffs, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with them next week at USC.
2 offensive coordinators share in Utah. You saw Jim Harding there on the field, Aaron Roderick up. Of course, they've got Dennis Erickson with 100 years of his own experience to help with the offense.
Those staff meetings must be pretty incredible. You get the story time with Dennis Erickson.
All right, here we go. Still a timeout for Utah. They need 4. Williams pulls it back, and Cal tips the pass. Well done by the Bears. This will force a decision. A tough one for Whittingham. It's a long field goal. He's sending his team out there.
It's a nice job by Trey Turner. They bring an extra defender off the edge, force the ball to get out of Troy Williams' hands. Trey Turner puts his hands up, gets his mitts on it. 4th down.
Andy Phillips, been a terrific kicker. 40+ in his career at Utah, 77%. This is 48. And Cal ice? Yes, they did. Cal
Timeout.
took a
Cal.
timeout.
Their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
That 3rd down play by the Bears could be awfully big for Sonny Dykes' team, because you feared if you're Cal, the gut punch would be Utah takes that short field and goes to the end zone.
And then they get the ball coming out. I mean, I think now if you're Cal, regardless of what happens here on this field goal, you come in and say, okay,
You're still ahead.
we're still ahead. Let's just settle down. And offensively, we've got to take what they give us. We can't try too hard, take shots against this defense. To me, it's working the intermediate elements of the field. Working the in routes, working the slants and the screen game.
And again, Andy Phillips has been such a strong, long kicker for Utah. And well understood, 4,000+ feet at home, sea level here, but still his distance, no problem. Watching him 52 before the game, no problem. And as soon as I say that, he's short. How about that?
You jinxed them.
Unbelievable.
We do not see that very often. He has a miss on the season, but it was week 1.
We were watching him with Dennis Erickson before the game on the field. He's kicking 51-52. Distance is no problem.
Good snap, good hold, just a miss.
You know what that is? That's just a fat pitching wedge to me. We all do that. It's like you hit that ball fat, doesn't it?
And he knows it. I mean, Utah has not played a clean half by any stretch of the imagination. Still in this ball game. In this offense, 34 seconds, surprisingly, it's enough time.
Absolutely. Look at this. Cal taking a shot from Robertson. And that one almost clicked. And don't you love that approach by the Bears?
Right back at same DB, same wideout, Robertson, Allen, same route. I was going to run faster than you and miss it by inches. And he's John Ross fast.
Yes.
Chris Robertson. He's that type of guy.
Well, pressure. Ooh, and that one, that could have been real dangerous because the backside hit was coming on Webb and had the turnover look to it, but he got rid of it.
Aaron Cochran gets beat. The back, there's no help on the protection, just gets out. You think at the back, Vic and Wary, it's protection first, get out second.
Peter Taumopenu had a shot, a little safer throw here into Stovall's hands. That's fourth down. Let's see, Utah will use a timeout here to at least force Cal to have to punt the ball. Well, here's a play that, well, what I love about this, Sonny Dykes a good man. I actually questioned pretty directly about this yesterday. See the immediate call there, touchdown, which, as was so well explained by Pac-12 Vice President David Coleman, that's what deadened the play. Nothing about immediate recovery. It was the call of touchdown. But this one I asked Sonny about, because before he did that,
he got after it.
He got after it, and Sonny said it was the angriest he's ever been on the sideline in his career. And then a minute later, you saw the result. He came over and hugged him and wore it. So, but that was a wonderful moment, and that's where Sonny Dykes went into the selfish explanation.
No doubt. He had that similar upset reaction he had in the Texas game early on that personal foul against Cameron Saffel in this game.
All right, so Cal has to punt this ball away. Ooh, and Utah put a run on there. Ruby Hobbs will try to put a run on himself here. And Utah will have enough time to snap the ball. The other part of that play, which runs against instinct, is that Vic and Wary could have gone down at the 5-yard line untouched. Game's over.
Yeah.
Didn't have to try to score. Now we understand instinct takes over.
Oh yeah, and I tell you what, as much as we love the game, if we were in this sold-out stadium, that type of environment, you're going to put a nail in it. I think we all, I don't know, it would have been hard, I think, even for me to take a knee on that one. But it was a huge win for this program. And you look at this game today, they got the lead heading into half, clearly a tale of two completely different quarters. And for both of these teams, can't wait to see how they come out. It's kind of how we predicted. Two different styles of football, back and forth. We've seen the run game, the defensive front of Utah. We've seen Cal getting after it. It's going to be interesting to see what the adjustments they make at halftime.
Well, it's unusual for Sonny Dykes, only 14-10 at the half. He hadn't had many of those. And Utah, Kyle Whittingham, I think you see his approach. Hey, we won the second quarter.
Yeah, they settled down and played their style of football, which is control the game, dictate the game, dictate terms versus the first few possessions where it was all Cal, Chad Hansen, and Davis Webb.
Yeah, Webb to Hansen. That was in the first 2 minutes of the game to get Cal out to the quick lead. Let's hear now from Sonny Dykes. Cindy?
4 penalties, 26 yards. What did you tell Cameron Saffel?
That hurt us clearly. That's not like us. We're a disciplined outfit, and he just did something out of character, and he can't do it. So we've got to play smarter. We've had, the penalties have killed us on offense. We score when we don't get penalties and get behind the chains.
What's going to be your message at the half?
Well, just execute. Your guys just have to execute, do what we do every day in practice, and just play.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
All right, yeah, it was only 4 penalties for Cal in the half, but you're right, timely.
They killed him.
All right, so 14-10 is the Cal halftime lead. Now let's go to Ashley Crew with our State Farm halftime report.
And I know time of possession is an interesting conversation, but when you're off the field for so long in a team that practices fast, they study fast, they do everything fast, they're on the bench and just sitting there. And then you get on the field, they couldn't play fast at all, and they struggled when they got the route.
Yeah, 19 fewer plays by Cal, but they have the lead. All right, let's hear from Kyle Whittingham now. He just joined Cindy.
You're halfway to your goal of 30 first downs. You got 13 in the first half. How do you keep that going?
Well, it's not quite halfway, but we're close. Got to continue to play good defense. We started off horribly, 2 drives, settled in and played some good football after that. Offense, we got to get the ball in the end zone. Drives can't stall. We got to finish drives.
What was the difference in that second quarter for your team? You moved the ball so effectively.
Just played better. Just better blocking, better tackling, better coverage. You name it, we did it better in the second quarter.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, and that kickoff does land out of bounds in the end zone, so it will be a Utah touchback. And so here's a measure of what Kyle Whittingham referenced.
No, it's no doubt. I mean, they started off, it was almost as though they were sluggish. Then they lose their center and can't really protect. And then they just got into it. And this is the drive right here. 20 plays over 9 minutes. That one just took the air out of the stadium. And all of a sudden it was like, whoa, what are we watching here? Just methodically just moving the ball down the field. And they got some help. Cal, they easily could be up more than they are right now. Foolish penalties on that drive allowed it to continue. Obviously, we're talking about that personal foul on 51, Cameron Saffold.
Well, Utah ran 48 plays in the first half. Cal's used to this. Their defense sees a ton of plays against them. And theirs was a split, 24 run, 24 pass. Yogi, as you see the second half start, does that surprise you? Utah's play split first half?
It would if coming into the game. You said, would this have happened at halftime? But after watching the first 2 drives, it didn't. Because then you're sitting as an offensive coordinator. You're saying, okay, we need an identity. We need to relax our players. Can't be 3 and out. Forget the passing game. Go to our identity, which is returning our offensive linemen. We love what we do up front, and let's just go to work and let our center settle in as you take a look at Lowell Falamaka. Excuse me.
J.J. Dielman's not coming back, but here's a good second half start now. Zach Moss, 2 carries, will total 13 yards, and a Utah first down.
You're right after Cameron Saffold.
Yeah, Saffold.
And you're a big right tackle, Sam Ted. You get those hands inside, and that's where you can grab the jersey. They're not going to call that one. Great technique, taught by co-OC Jim Harding, their offensive coordinator, offensive line coach.
And you saw that perfectly, so Saffold couldn't get outside. Zach Moss does. There's Williams with a quick throw. Good wrap up after a short game. Singleton on the catch. We talk about this a lot. It's a football term, holding the edge, which means the defense basically doesn't allow the running back to get outside and get wide on him. I have never seen Stanford victimized defensively like they were last night by Washington, continually getting the running backs outside against them.
It looked like it was teams playing at different speeds. Washington was so fast, getting to the edge, setting the edge. And the weakness, we talked about it all week long on the Pac-12 Network, we thought it was their offensive line, and they dominated the front 7 of Stanford.
And on second down, there's a push straight ahead. And so Utah coming out and running the ball here. And Shine gets a first down, as we see. Well, it was a big week for Seattle against the Bay Area. It happened last Sunday in the NFL, and it happened last night at Husky Stadium.
They're for real. We saw them week 3 against Portland State, and you saw their first couple games, and you said, okay, they're doing what they should do, but you couldn't tell. Then we saw the Arizona game on the road, goes to overtime a week ago, and you're saying, okay, maybe this team's weakness is who they are up front on both sides of the ball. And then they dominated. They looked like a playoff caliber team last night.
One pass so far for Utah. The rest has been on the ground to start this second half. Armand Shine gets almost 4.
And I'll tell you what, all the Pac-12 fans, and Utah fans specifically, saw the drive last year on the Pac-12 Network. When we followed Utah all season long, and you found the mentality of Kyle Whittingham is going to be, we are going to be a physically imposing, dominant team. I would put everything on that locker room speech was about, we are going to run the ball when we come out in the third quarter, and this is who we're going to be. We're going to force them to stop us in the running game.
The quick throw inside to Tyrone Smith is incomplete. Now Tim Patrick is back on the sideline, and he's standing there with his helmet on and the hands on his hips. So he's not unable to play, but he's not on the field.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's a big loss for this team. He's the confidence. You see Troy Williams, the frustration, saying, come on, just needs a little bit of help. and it's the timing on those slant routes, the run pass options. As Tim Patrick, I'd be shocked if we saw him again, but he's the type of player that can completely change the complexion of a game.
Right. Well, here's Utah's third down play. Take a little sweep motion, and Cal smothers Armand Shine, and that's going to force Utah to punt. It's going to be 4th down and almost 10.
Well, it's Trey Turner, the nickel, off the edge, and then they get it inside from James Looney. I mean, this is a violent job at the point of attack. Blow right past the center, Valimaka, into the backfield, and it's the run pass option again. I mean, this is Utah's run game. It's their quick game. This is what they try to do. Huge stop for the Bears.
And because of the lost yardage, Utah can't even think about going for it. A shorter 4th they might have. And Wisnowski with a beautiful punt. Gorgeous. That is gorgeous. So, Cal's first possession of the 3rd quarter. We'll see if they can get the ball to their brilliant breakout receiver, Chad Hansen. Starting back from their 5-yard line. All right, Yogi. How many fingers do you think it will take to count the number of quarters that Cal's had 13 yards of offense and Sonny Dykes has been the coach here?
I was going to call it 0.
Yeah, 1 finger today's 2nd quarter. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, look, they averaged 10 yards per play in the 1st quarter, 1 per play in the 2nd quarter. 2 totally different elements of this team.
So Webb trying to get out from his own end zone. And Stovall does elude some people. Runs around on the far side of the field and ends up out of bounds at the 10. 5-yard gain.
You know, kind of an ugly play, but for Cal, everything for them starts with that first play, that first down. They're at 2nd and 10. It's going to be a bad drive. Just to get half, okay, now we can move.
Trying to run, and Utah's not let Cal do much on the ground. Cal hasn't tried much. It's only their 8th run play.
Davis Webb
with his 5th carry.
Davis Webb's got to pull one of these, you know, just to keep that edge honest. I mean, he could have ran for at least 8-10 yards on that last one. Don't be shocked to see it if they can convert a 1st down.
All right, so Cal, very makeable distance here. Webb with all his signal calling at the line. Hansen alone to the top. Underneath across to Stovall. There's the throw. That wasn't going to make it. I think Webb looked to me like Webb recognized that. Tried not to throw it, eventually did.
Take a look at Chad Hansen. They're going to short motion him just to soften the coverage. He's going to work his way. He's going to be wide open in the middle of the field for Davis Webb. You just got to layer that ball over the backer. I thought he was going there all day.
Yeah, Kavika Luafatasanga, as I've wanted all day to say that.
Impressive.
And Kavika made a good play there. He was one shadowing Stovall. I think Webb saw that. He really want to go there. Hobbs trying to get a wall here. Ooh, flags come down. So Utah's return is going to get called back. Hobbs had the ball to the Cal side of the 50.
And that's on Hayden Clegg for Utah. Easy call by the officials. Going to back him up.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 52. 10-yard penalty, 1st down. Timeout.
All right, so Utah's 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter coming up. After us tonight on Pac-12 Network, we'll go to Pullman for night football. Oregon, Washington State. Of course, the Cougs had a credibility win, overtime win at Autzen last year, and then at the Rose Bowl, UCLA led Stanford for 59 minutes last Saturday, and then lost. They tried to bounce back tonight against Arizona.
I think Oregon bounces back from the game we were at a week ago.
So this is how we're going to get our post-game dinner decided, because I'm going Cougs tonight.
Coming off a bye week.
Coming off a bye week, it's a rally game for Mike Leach and his team. That's an incompletion trying to hit Moiai. Benzer on the cover. All right, this is what I love. Here is how Pro Football Focus College, PFF College, ranks Pac-12 quarterbacks. Where does Yogi Roth rank them?
I'll tell you what, number one, the way they rank, I think it's important for people to understand. You get a -2 or a +2 on every single play and anything in between. When you watch Dakota Prukop, ranked 4th in the entire country right now, go through his reads, he sees the field, he's going there fine. He's doing everything right within that offense. I don't think he's playing at the level he needs to play right now. So for me, he's not number 1 in the Pac-12 conference. I go Jake Browning, and this is even before last night's performance. Jake Browning, Davis Webb, Josh Rosen, Manny Wilkins.
Wow.
And then it's kind of a tie between Steven Montez and Sefa Lufau because they both play at a high level. Right. And then I go Troy Williams. And then I haven't said Luke Falk's name yet. And I understand why people might freak out about that. But when you watch the tape, when you look at Luke Falk, Ryan Burns, Dakota Prukop, I don't think they've elevated their teams to where they need to be at that school with that offense at that position. And that's why they're in the lower third for me in ranking the Pac-12 quarterbacks.
Well, this Cal defense is trying to make itself a name today. Can they get Utah out here at 3 and out? Williams with all kinds of time, and then he's got his man across. Well held for the first down. Not just the catch by Simpkins, but he took a bump, held it, and Utah's drive continues.
By far the best play from Troy Williams all afternoon. You see him in the pocket, and he's so, we don't say tall in the pocket, right? Strong in the pocket. He just stays strong, and he just sits and he drives into that in route by the true freshman. Right on the money, perfect placement, front number, move the chains.
It looked like there you could see Cal only rushed 3, but they had 2 or 3 guys lingering back. They're not going to let Troy Williams beat them with his legs.
No, he can't. He's too dynamic of an athlete.
Moss goes outside, gets a couple, does Zach Moss. Well, I like your quarterback rankings thing, as I was puzzled by the PFF ranking as well. And I say you look back to last week where we had 2 significant games in the conference decided on the very same play at the end of the game. A fade to the left side of the end zone. One was thrown beautifully by Stanford's Burns. The other was just a poor throw by Prukop on first down.
Yeah, and he owned it, you know, and I think everybody in that program owned it. That's why I'm excited to see how they respond. I think that program's been challenged. We've had them twice throughout this season. And Wazoo, they've been extremely underwhelming on tape. Interesting coming off a bye week what happened tonight in the Palouse.
Boy, there's a good throw.
And I think if anybody could go back, the Ducks would go back and alter that play call.
And they did. And Dakota, as you said, Dakota Prukop well owned it. He was out there this week practicing the fade throws. And the point about first down, meaning you have 4 downs to score down there. If it's first down, throw that thing so that only your man can catch it.
No doubt. I mean, everything at this position.
Shine with a carry there, gets it down to the 30.
Everything at the position of quarterback in this conference specifically is about mastery specific situations. It just is. There's not enough margin for error. Last week, 5 games decided basically on the last play of the game. You know, and the quarterbacks drive the ship. They drive the train in this offense, and you have to understand where you are on the field, what's going on with the clock, who's in personnel-wise, what the matchups are like. It's a lot to process in a fraction of a second, but that's the job.
Yep, exactly.
And you saw Troy Williams execute perfectly on his final drive a week ago against C, and he's playing. This is his best drive by far of the game, in my opinion.
And second down, they give it to Armand Shine, and here's Utah starting. It really started earlier in this quarter, but the very point you referenced, they're starting to assert themselves as the vintage Utah team.
You know, we had a chance to talk to J.J. Dielman, and yeah, he's banged up. He hasn't returned since the early parts of this game, but he talked about the offensive line as a whole and as a group. And after that first game, they did not play well to start the season off against Southern Utah. And they all met with the co-offensive coordinator, Jim Harding. Kyle Whittingham said, you know what, I had some choice words for the players. I was straight up with them. This offensive line has played as well as any offensive line in the conference since week 1.
All right, 8th play of this Utah drive. Williams to throw it, and flag. So freshman Drayden for Cal looks like he's going to get called there on the cover of Singleton. That was the Utah shot to the end zone.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Ineligible receiver downfield, offense number 72. Pass interference, defense number 12. The foul's offset, replay first down.
Right.
Correct. The defensive pass interference was on
Left
number
tackle,
20.
72 is going to be the man called downfield.
Right,
Yep.
so if you say the ball's on the 20, okay, the rule is right there. It's right. You cannot cross basically the 17-yard line. And
that's a good call.
yeah, and that is a major point of emphasis
Exactly, yeah.
by the officials.
It's a good call by this crew to catch that.
Well, it was called in Salt Lake City against USC, and it was a big discussion element down in Los Angeles all week long after that loss.
All right, so on a replay of 1st and 10, a short gain for Moss. This is where now the Kyle Whittingham words ring true. Utah cannot afford, well, they would prefer not to have this drive stall. They don't want to be kicking field goals and try to beat a Cal team with as explosive an offense.
No doubt, and they've already missed a field goal on the day. So if you're Cal, to me, I'm pressing outside. Do not play off coverage, and I'm bringing an extra defender. Try to take away at least one of the edges in the zone read scheme. With 2 backs in the backfield, that's what's coming.
McCormick leads the backfield. Pass to Singleton. It's going to be right at the line to gain. Very close to it. Perhaps, well, it looks like he's going to be marked short at the 11.
It's simple run pass option again. They bring a little pressure off the edge, but it's off coverage. And Singleton's too big of a body. 6'3", 215.
So it's 3rd and 1, and Kyle Whittingham, again, Tim Patrick is standing on the sideline. His helmet's on, which is every indication you're eligible to play, but he has not been on the field during this 3rd quarter. So where does Williams, if he decides to throw this, does he go? CLC Wilson is the receiver alone to the top, Singleton to the bottom, but it's a run with Shine, and Utah will have 1st and goal. Well, the play count is tilting very heavily in Utah's favor. The only thing they don't have right now is the score in their favor.
You know, the one similarity between these two offenses is that the quarterback, he makes the decision. On the run pass option, the RPO, the trend, you know, for the last 2 or 3 seasons in major college football, and Troy Williams decides, do I want to give it? Do I want to keep it? Do I want to throw it? He has that opportunity on every snap.
66, the Utah play, and Shine, who would look like he had the goal line within reach, got closed out quickly. Hamilton and Onawai on the tackle.
And what's impressive about this is they're in the pistol, right? And a lot of times when you watch Utah on film, they start there, but they very rarely run plays out of that. They usually move the running back to the right or left of the quarterback, and it's a quick count, and all of a sudden Shine's on you as a defensive lineman.
So this will be the 67th Utah play. Cal has run 32.
And they average 89 on the season.
And Armand Shine doesn't get in. Cal jams it just shy.
And, you know, we talk about the mastery at the quarterback position also is the play clock. You know, and knowing, okay, what is our game plan coming in on offense? We want to dictate terms. So that means I've got to understand what the play clock's doing, let it wind down, but don't get out of rhythm. I mean, all those little intricacies matter for Troy Williams.
Jordan Kanashik is another new player in that Cal defense. You saw him really make that last stand there just in front of the goal line. Now it is Utah 3rd down, about a foot. Shine is the back. And Shine fights through. Did he break? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Utah. And their first lead.
Cal brings Luke Rebenzer in top of your screen. They bring pressure on both edges, the top and the bottom, but they don't get any interior penetration. And that defensive line, all of a sudden, it gives the initial step to Utah. It allows them to get a little momentum. All of a sudden, it's linebacker on running back, and you're in the end zone.
In an era of explosive football, Utah's winning right now with body blows. It's attrition.
It's what Utah...
And it's what Utah and Stanford, when they're right, both of those teams, that's what they do.
That's right. And it's Utah basically prior to this year and their quote-unquote throw game. I mean, this is a throwback game for the Utes in terms of, all right, we're just going to pound the rock, we're going to play defense, we're going to dominate time of possession, and we're going to dictate this game.
I guess another scoring play here is being looked at. And this is what you need. You need a goal line camera to overturn what you see on the field.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what they're looking at, but
That's a touchdown. I mean, we've seen in this college football season, we've seen it when teams have been called for forward progress. We've seen that. It happened in one game early in the year. I think it might have been Texas Notre Dame week 1.
You can't overturn that.
No.
Forward progress once the whistle blows, right? That play's dead.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Coit, our referee.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Well, back to what we were saying. It's attrition. And it's like, again, this is a fight. Cal connected with 2 big hooks to the jaw in the first round. But now Utah's wearing the back with body blows. And 3 quarters in, they have their first lead.
It's going to be amazing to watch Cal respond. I mean, they've ran 15 plays since the first quarter. This team that runs over 200 in practice.
Well, that's obviously right now, if you're sitting on the Utah side, you think your defense, hey guys, you're fresh. So hold this lead for us. Pac-12 football presented by Opus Bank. Utah, well, Utah's done. I mean, we talked to them all week long, and they say, look, Kyle Whittingham is certain way he wants to play. Man press and defense. That's just Kyle Whittingham's style. Physical offense. We're going to run the ball. And look what they've done. 60, they've more than doubled the plays. That's the column. 68 to 32. And Cal came out with 2 big plays to start, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Unbelievably, they haven't scored since then. That won't happen much in this stadium this year either. Let's go back to San Francisco. Get a game break now with Ashley.
Yeah, Ted, we go to SEC country for this Gatorade game break. Kentucky and #1 Alabama. 3rd and 6 for Kentucky. Steven Johnson stripped by Rashaan Evans. And Ronnie Harrison picks up the football, and he is gone for the touchdown. Alabama goes up 17-3 in the second. The Tide has never lost to Kentucky in Tuscaloosa. Ted?
All right, Ashley, so Cal's little flip there. That's a forward pass, though. That is a forward pass, so it's incomplete.
The ruling on the field is an illegal forward pass. Excuse me, an incomplete forward pass, 2nd down.
Thank you, Chris. And that is the reason why this play's designed this way. In case there is a miscue, it's not a fumble, it's a forward pass.
Yeah, and Singleton goes with 1 hand. You know, I get he's a diamond athlete, but there's some elements, whether it's fielding in baseball or catching in football. 2 hands, grab it and go. And I'll tell you what, the play was dead anyway. So it might be lucky it was incomplete.
Well, Cal needs to try to get its offense going, get the stadium back. They try a shot for Hansen, and there comes some flags. That might be at least the first time I've noticed Dominic Hatfield against Hansen in cover.
Yeah, and the way Utah plays, they play right and left for the most part. You know, they're not moving guys, chasing guys.
Pass interference. Defense number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
But what's great about Chet Hansen is just the way that he tacks leverage on the corners. Hatfield wanted to play outside leverage already. He tacked it, dipped back inside, got grabbed. I mean, expect Davis Webb to go after number 6. Utah, they're not bracketing Chad Hansen. They're not double covering Chad Hansen. They're just saying, we're going to play you with our guys because this is what we do.
Yogi, I keep harkening back something you said earlier, and it's so true, is that what Utah has done by running so many plays, by these long drives, is they've taken the stadium out of the game. And the Cal fans are, we're not used to this. We came here to see this. Trey Watson trying to give him some of this, and he does. Strong effort by Watson to push the ball to midfield.
He's impressive, isn't he? I mean, so strong. Talking to Kyle Whittingham, he said, we recruited him really hard, too. We tried to stay on him, and Cal won late, but this is the 2nd, 3rd time he's done it this afternoon where there's hands on him, and he just keeps falling forward.
And there's a throw to Hansen, just enough to get the 1st down against Hatfield's coverage. 4th catch for Hansen today. He had a 40-yard touchdown in the opening minutes of the game. Robertson, freshman, had a 39-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter for Cal, and the Bears haven't scored since.
It's man-to-man again, all across the board.
Cal was up 14-0. And Utah has clawed its way back to now have its first lead. And Watson does bounce it, got out. And a good job by Watson. Didn't go out of bounds, stayed in front of the Cal bench, and gets a 1st down.
It's a great job by Davis Webb checking at the line of scrimmage on this run. He checks it, he sees his man-to-man coverage. That means every defender's eyes are going to be turned to the offense. An inside zone run, all of a sudden the chains are moving.
Cal using just 2 running backs today. Khalfani Muhammad has not played. And where Watson rather gets the swing with 1 blocker there, and that was enough to get him some yards. And get that ball down near the 25.
The way Cal blocks the screen game, Ted, is different than a lot of teams. They don't block people, they block spaces. And that's a really unique element when you look at their running game under Brandon Jones, the offensive line coach. Spaces, not people. You don't see that a lot in the screen game.
That was the right tackle, Stephen Moore. Nice play. Hanson to the 5. After Stephen Moore did a fine blocking job on the little pass to Watson, here's Hanson with the move. Flag down, though. And everybody's walking back.
An eligible player downfield, offense number 75. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
It's a left tackle, Aaron Cochran. Let's check it out. They're on the 25. The rule is a 3-yard rule. It's a pump, ball's out. It's the right call, 100%. And then there's no excuse on that one. Officials' point of emphasis, second time this game.
Yep, each side's been bit once on that. So now, 1st and 15. And it's Nweri running it inside. So that's a nice first down run. After the penalty, got 7.
And on the one hand, where we've said all, since the first quarter, Cal has not ran a lot of plays. You can tell their offensive line is really fresh coming off the ball.
Well, Utah's defense should be, shouldn't it? To the end zone. And out of bounds. Late cover there. Jordan Vesey.
Well, the difference is, Ted, is that when all of a sudden, if you're converting, if you're making plays down the field, Cal doesn't change personnels a lot unless it's an incomplete pass. Meaning that defensive front's got to stay on, and they're continually coming off the ball so hard to advantage Cal offense.
That was Julian Blackman getting in the game for the Utes. It was on the cover there. So 3rd down. For Hanson, who's there. Touchdown, Cal. But Chad Hanson, after a while of inactivity, back, makes his presence felt. 2nd touchdown catch today.
Well, in TV land, we just said ISO 6 the entire drive, and they did that, and Cal just went after him. Simple man-to-man coverage. Davis Webb does an incredible job holding Chase Hanson, the middle safety, with his eyes, can't get over the top. If I'm Utah, you got to take 6 out of the game from here on out.
You say it, as Anderson kicks extra point, you talk about dropping the ball in a basket. Davis Webb does it there.
A clinic worthy. Great eye discipline, an absolute dime piece. That's a 12 best in my opinion. Put it on Sports Report.
Davis Webb delivering his 3rd touchdown pass, 2nd to Hanson. That is the 8th caught by Hanson in 5 games this year. You said this about Hanson, and talk about route running and blocking and all these things we reference in receivers. At some point, the ability to catch the ball. You watch this kid catching the ball. Amazing.
I'll never forget my first couple days at USC when I was coaching. Talked about wide receivers and all these explosive players, and the #1 thing Pete Carroll talked about was can catch. And if you can't catch, you can't play. No matter how big, strong, and fast you are, because we can scheme up ways to get you the ball if you can catch it.
Right, short kick by Cal, fielded by an up man for Utah. That was Sharif Shah that got it out across the 25.
I'll tell you what, right here, Chico McClatcher, most underrated guy, I think, on the West Coast, and Chad Hanson's just gone off, and he just continues to show people why he's not just a guy in an offense who wants to throw the rock, but he's beaten press coverage, off coverage, double coverage, and I would expect Utah to have a safety over the top of him the rest of this ball game.
And meanwhile, the man who would be Utah's go-to receiver, Tim Patrick, is still not in the game. Utah's really down. Corey Butler-Bird is not in uniform today. We're told Kylie Fitz has gone into the locker room. So it's going to be people like that. Raylon Singleton's going to have to play a much larger role. Kyle Fultz in the locker room, we understand. We don't know the precise nature of that. Tim Patrick was stretching his leg out during that changeover after the timeout, or to the touchdown rather, by Cal. He's still standing up with his helmet on, but he has not gone into the game in the second half. And there's Cal, as Zach Moss is spun around behind the line. He's able to fall forward and get back, but Cal defending that first run very well.
This is a big stop. You know, 2nd and 5. They get a nice stop, immediately get in the backfield. Tony McCary, brother of the tackle, Patrick McCary. We've seen him as well. Because this is not 4-down territory. At least you wouldn't think it is.
Last minute of the third. Utah needs a full 3. They go empty, and Williams rather gets enough. He uses the tight end Moiai, and that will be the last play of the third quarter as it gets Utah a first down. Well, the game of the day in the Pac-12. Undefeated Utah. Cal trying to establish its home field cred. We've got a good one going to the fourth. Cal has regained the lead. Can Utah's physical presence win the last 15 minutes? Our game summary presented by Can-Am. Davis Webb, 2 touchdown passes first quarter, then a third one to Hansen at the end of the third. Utah's run far more plays. They've really doubled down on the run game with Shine and Moss. And as a result, we've got ourselves a game. 4 points going to the fourth.
No doubt. It's been an interesting one, right? Utah loses J.J. Dielman, Tim Patrick. They change their scheme on offense. They're not going to try to attack you down the field. There's Dielman.
Yeah, that's a rough one for Utah in center. Dielman hurt early. Patrick was out just running, trying to run on the field here during the quarter break. He's not out for this play as Williams goes to the top. And a nice adjustment by Singleton. And a catch inside the Cal 35. He's becoming today's go-to man.
How about that? How about Aaron Roderick, the co-offensive coordinator? You know what? All right, we've been running the ball. It's been us. You know, let's just take a shot. We've said all offseason that we want a team that can be explosive. Okay, our top receiver's out, but you know what? Let's give these other guys a shot. Press coverage, throw it up, make a play. Singleton does. That was big time.
And Utah seems to be testing a first-year guy. Josh Drayton being pressed in for Cal today.
Yeah, it's great recognition by them saying we're going to attack the true freshman.
So from the Cal 33, extra people coming. Utah holds them off. And then Wilson trying to turn out to the sideline. Can't get there for Utah against the cover of Franklin.
I like it, you know, loosen them up. And now here we are for Utah. This is 4-down territory for them. I mean, not only do they enjoy going on 4th down, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, but you know, you get inside the 35-yard line, most coaches say, okay, this is 4-down territory if we need it, as it's a 4-point game right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this after missing a field goal earlier in the game.
The previous play, that pass to Singleton, was the first 25-yard play today for Utah. It was a 30-yarder. They've been the grinded-out team today. No explosive plays. High throw there. So Williams missing. And it's going to be 3rd and 10. Simpkins the intended. Cameron Walker, one of the veterans in the Cal defense.
Simpkins, the true freshman, one of 3 players out of that same high school in Miami, along with Zach Moss and Tyler Huntley. Here we go, 3rd down. If I'm Utah, Ted, I'm just trying to get half, because you know your field goal kicker has range.
Don't have any idea if Kyle Whittingham's thinking that way. That's what we'll see. First down, first thing is the 3rd down. And they're going to run the ball and get much of it. McCormick with a terrific run, just piecing his way right inside the hash mark. And it's going to leave 4th down and 2.
I love the call. Spread it out. Again, it's a run-pass option.
Really pushed Looney out of the way.
Yeah, offensive line got after it. And here we go again, right? I mean, if it works,
there you go.
Might as well.
Well, again, that was the point you made. They got enough now so that Kyle Whittingham can go for it. 4 for 4 last week, 3 for 3 today. Shine is the runner. You see the line to gain. And Shine has it easily before Davison, if Cal drops him inside the 20.
The entire offensive line. I mean, you could pick whichever one you want and ISO and talk about because they all did their job. Every offensive line put a body on a body and allowed for a crease for Shine to either take it front side. He decided to cut backside off of his center, Falamaka, and all of a sudden we got a first down.
So Sonny Dykes, I mean, he has to be concerned about his defense here. This is going to be the 76th play. 77th, actually. The 77th Utah play.
And they average only playing 78 per game, and we got 12 or 13 minutes left.
Look at this little option pitch, but Cal strings it out. And they're drop Armand Shine for a loss.
Yeah, I thought that's a little too cute. I mean, you're attacking them in the zone running, run pass option scheme. Stick with it. You've worn this defensive line down a little bit. They're already at the amount of plays they normally play in a game.
So now you push behind the rhythm you'd like. Maybe 2nd down and almost 13 here for Utah. They need the 9-yard line for 1st. They need the end zone for the lead. They'll get some of it. And what a good wrap up there. Boy, Cameron Walker saved that one for Cal. Wilson is about ready to see if he can slam the brakes on and charge.
I'll tell you what, I give a half a completion to Demarie Simpkins, the true freshman in the slot. He held the Cal defender from buzzing out to that flat. An easy completion for Troy Williams.
Now, Utah's been in these down and distances that force a lot of decisions by coaches. Here are 3rd and 4 again. You see the score and time situation. Kyle Whittingham has to think a play ahead.
Well, you're going to be press coverage, right? You got press coverage either side. You want to come down to the bottom, run a fade route?
Going to run it. And Moss fighting and lunging, and he's going to be, what else? 4th and 1. It has to be. And now you have to go for it.
Oh, yeah.
4th and 1.
Well, we talked to the offensive line earlier this week, and they said early in the season against Southern Utah, they didn't go for it on 4th down. And then it happened again in the BYU game, and Coach came in afterwards, talked to the O-line, and said, look, it's not that I don't believe in you, I just thought we should kick it. And they said, Coach, let's just start going for it. And they've been doing it ever since.
Just gauging by the field marker, and you'll see the line on screen. It looks to be a little bit less than a yard. Moss, no! Cal smothered him. And the Cal defense comes up. James Looney, Tony McCarron leading the way.
Look at this defensive front. Your back's against the wall. 4th and potentially the game. Interior defensive line. All lights out in the backfield. Cal ball. Welcome back, and this is the matchup right here. Isaac Asiata, the 4-year starter, and Tony Macari. He just misses. He simply misses. You know, the first step of Asiata is to his left, and Macari sneaks right inside, and all of a sudden gets some penetration. James Looney jumps in next, and all of a sudden it's everybody to the party. I mean, that's the biggest defensive stop that Cal has had all season long, and that's huge considering the way that Utah has run the ball, the confidence they've had on 4th down. And now what are they going to do on defense?
Exactly. And how strong that defensive line held up. That was the 80th Utah play of the game. Wow. And they made a 4th down stop. Now, can Webb and Cal get out of this hole? And Wary bouncing outside, and he does a good job. Turned a minimal play to get almost 7 on 1st down. Let's check in with Cindy.
Guys behind the Cal bench, the defensive line gathered up and said, we will have to do that again. We don't get away with doing it just once. Be ready.
Well, the offense would like to stay out here, put a drive together. Going to run it again. And this time, Utah says no. Good stop there. That's Pasoni Tassini. He's the man who stepped in for Lotulelei today.
Interesting choice to run the rock, you know, especially after that last drive.
All right, so where's number 6 for Cal here?
Bottom of the field, it's stacked.
You want to show us where number 6 is?
No doubt.
Yeah. And he's throwing out that direction. It's Stovall that makes the leaping catch, and the spot is going to be close. Stovall, and they're saying first down at the 21.
How about this? They clear out on the inside. A little short motion by Stovall. That's the athlete they thought they were getting out of Lancaster, California. Explosive, true freshman.
A terrific third down conversion. Webb being spied, throws one errant and incomplete on the throw to Chad Hansen. Hansen claiming he caught it. Field judge says the ball hit the turf.
I don't know.
There.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Can't overturn that one. But again, press coverage across the board. Single high safety. Pick your poison if you're Davis Webb.
Utah moving. Guys darting in and out, up as many as 6 up near the line.
Be surprised seeing under route at the top of the screen.
Here come 5, and Webb arcs one to the far side. And that is caught. Even with interference, a terrific catch for Cal. Vic Wharton.
Really nice play call and audible by Davis Webb. Runs 2 underneath routes to clear out a corner route for Wharton. Transfer from Tennessee, goes back. And he's taking a page out of Chad Hansen's playbook right there.
Justin Thomas on the cover.
Pass interference, defense number 12. The penalties decline, the result of the play, first down.
So it was a win for Cal either way. Wharton just gets the stats, gets the catch. Transfer from Tennessee. Part of his whole new receiving core. Kyle Whittingham's looking at his defense saying, all right, boys, time to make that stop. There's the big shot. That's the big game. Robertson for the Cal touchdown.
This is straight, I'm faster than you. This is just in the playground. Hey man, you just go deep, I'll throw it up. And I promise I won't overthrow you, because I don't think you can overthrow number 8 however many times you try. The true freshman, Demetrius Robertson. We fell in love with him when he jumped 63 inches on the box jump over the summer. And Cal fans are getting to know him over the last 2 weeks as a wideout.
56-yard touchdown pass. 4 by Webb for Cal. 2 to Hansen and 2 to Robertson. And once again, Yogi Roth. Home runs beat singles.
How about defense creating some offense? 4th and short, the Cal defensive tackles and the rest of the Bears rally to the party. They come right back and say, okay, let's put our best athlete on the outside and just say, run as fast as you can. Davis Webb, I think he's fired up after last weekend's loss at Arizona State, where he put that entire loss on his shoulders. Him and the receivers went back to work, paying off. A lot of time left, Ted, but that was a big-time play for this offense.
All right, so Utah will start with the touchback. So, the hockey player's done okay.
Yeah, safe to say.
There's Jake Spavital talking to him, the new offensive coordinator.
It's such a dynamic athlete while they're young. Look at Demetrius Robertson. That's like you. I mean, we work out every Saturday before the game. 63 inches, straight up and down. He's an explosive athlete. And what's great about his story, Ted, is that this kid's coming out of Georgia. He's one time in his career he's committed to Alabama. Cal beats Notre Dame, Georgia, because he said he wants a different experience. He said, you know, I have a vision for my life, and it's not all about football. At some point, that's going to end. He wanted to come to the Bay Area, one of the top public institutions in the world. And he's making his presence felt in the classroom and clearly on the field.
Williams lets one fly, and that is going to be caught up near midfield. And this is where Utah now is going to have to perhaps deviate from that war of attrition game and start to think about bigger chunks.
Well, the beautiful thing is that in years past, we would say, okay, Utah, they're going to go so away from who they are, outside of their comfort zone, have to throw the ball. It's not. You watch them on tape, they've taken shots down the field. Yes, Timmy Patrick isn't here. Corey Butler-Bird isn't playing. But their offense is built. Their game plan has plays down the field, taking shots. This game dictated them to dominate the run game, but now the tides have turned.
21 yards on that play. The 6th pass caught by Singleton. Shine to try to mix up a run. Cal bottles that up. Tim Patrick caught 4 passes in the first half after they got banged up, tried to play. He's now standing on the sideline without his helmet. First time he's had no helmet, that's the indicator you're done.
Yeah. And it's a total bummer for that young man in this offense. They've had some adversity, losing their center, losing Patrick. But now Troy Williams, let's find out. Can you lead this team back, put the ball at the right spot on time against an aggressive Cal defense?
Williams escapes and does get some yardage. Not enough for a first down. This is where Utah now is going to have to change a little bit of its mode because it's a 2-score game. They're not going to be able to run. As you see, there's Tim Patrick. And again, he's had his helmet the entire half until now. You see no helmet in his hands. So it's obvious that he's not coming back.
Clearly a huge blow for this offense. But they've got receivers that have been in this program. Waylon Singleton, second-year player. Tyrone Smith, been around this game. Wilson, they like his capability. Now you got to step up your game. I wouldn't be shocked. Keep an eye on 88 Harrison Hanley. I haven't called his name a lot at the slot at the top.
Utah ran the play clock right down to the end there. Great move. Boy, that's big time. Well, sometimes you just have to ask a young man to make a play. Damari Simpkins did that there to bail Utah out.
He did it a week ago on a critical 3rd down at home. This is a dynamic athlete. It was a huge get for them in recruiting. And it's a chance for him to have a coming out party of sorts.
Yeah, Utah used all the play clock there right down. And that play looked like it was going to get hit for a loss. Now to the end zone, they go to Tyrone Smith. And he has that. And it is a Utah touchdown. Well, Utah does swing for the fence and hit one out. 36 yards to Tyrone Smith.
This is an absolute dime piece. You can't put it any better. I mean, right in the breadbasket. Perfect play, perfect pass. Love the call, love the guts. And even the coverage is fine. They're right there. You talk about having to make a play on a critical down and distance. That is big time.
I would imagine they're going to review
the ruling
this.
On the field of a touchdown is under review.
Since they've reviewed the other touchdowns today, we'll assume they're going to review this one to see if Smith was down prior to the goal line. It's clearly a catch. He's clearly in bounds.
What's impressive, he doesn't fade on the ball either. A lot of times you see receivers on go routes fade to the sideline. He stayed square so his body could block off Franklin and Rebenza a hair late.
Yeah. So if they parse this frame by frame, you see his knee does hit prior to the goal line. The question again to me is where's the ball?
Yep.
But we may not get a conclusive view of that.
Knee down? No, I don't think so. It's going to be really hard.
Well, and the other point to make, so relevant of this outcome, Utah's going for 2.
Right.
Whether this stands as a touchdown or whether they have to line up from the 1-inch line and try to score. They're ready to go for 2.
How about the response in the drive? I mean,
yeah,
this crowd is rocking. All of a sudden, Cal's got all the momentum you could imagine in the stadium. In the arm of Troy Williams. Was it once on the right sideline, once on the left? It's got to be conclusive.
After review, the receiver was down with possession of the ball just inside the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Utah.
I think that's the right call, Ted. You know, I know it's how hard that is, but
yeah,
I thought the angle provided for the replay officials was efficient. And now you do got to kind of play the timing game a little bit. I'd run the ball right here, obviously, if they had success.
Yep. So the Cal defensive line will try to summon up a little bit of its strength here, see if they can force Utah to use some plays, use clock.
Well, it's like Cindy said. They said they'd have to do it again. Well, here's your chance.
Moss is the running back, and Moss will get in for the Utah touchdown. So it's a play later. Only a few seconds escape, and now Utah will be ready. They clearly had a two-point play ready to go.
If I'm Utah, I'm going back to the run-pass option where they've had a ton of success, backside runs. It looks like the running back's going to run to his right, and he cuts back behind his center. They've converted numerous third downs and critical downs and distances in this game.
So Williams and Utah elect to put that ball at the right hash mark of the 3-yard line. Moss, the running back. Smith and Simpkins are left up top. Singleton, that's where they're throwing it. It's the fade, and it's broken up. Drayden, the freshman, corner, right in the jersey of Raylan Singleton.
How many times have we seen it?
Reese is going for 2. The fade.
It's the fade. Underthrown. Cal's got life. Not just a field goal. 5-point game.
Pac-12 football is presented by Opus Bank, official bank of the Pac-12. By Dr. Pepper, it's a college football tradition. And by Clean Crisp Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. Ted Robinson, Yogi Roth, Cindy Brunson. Real good game. This was the highlight game of this Saturday in the Pac-12. Utah trying to stay undefeated. First time they played in this stadium since they've been in the Pac-12. And Sonny Dykes and Cal hoping to bounce back from a tough loss in Tempe last week. Davis Webb has thrown 4 touchdown passes, and that'll be a challenge for Webb when he comes back out after this short, high kick. That's fielded by Watson, who pushes it out across the 30. First of all, the 2-point play, Yogi, I'm a little surprised. At least caught me off guard. A fade to the short side of the field.
Yeah, a lot of times when we see that, they want to back shoulder, get the ball out really quick. Ball didn't get out as quickly as they probably hoped on offense. Before you know it, wideout's out of bounds. Nice job by Franklin in coverage. He also taught if you're going to throw the fade, try to hit that back pylon.
As you see there, Drayden had already kind of edged Singleton out of bounds by the time the ball had even gotten there. Now, how does Cal approach this drive on its offense? A little flip forward pass. And it's turned into big yards by Stovall, but there is a flag down. Thrown by the referee, Chris Coit behind the play. Likely a hold.
I think that one's going to be on Ray Hudson.
Holding, offense number 11, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Yeah, it's the right call. He's shaking his head, but you'll see it coming off the edge. Coming right at you. Just kind of grabs him right there. Didn't really need to.
Yep. And we should also make this point for fans, if you're watching and you're understanding, why are they doing that flip with the football? It looks careless, but it's done intentionally. It's taught that way, as you see Sonny Dykes' reaction to the call, so that if there's any mistake in the exchange, it is an incomplete pass. There's no free ball involved.
Yeah. And that's a critical penalty for Cal.
So 1st and 20, Stovall. Utah defends that well. That is a very huge penalty, because again, Utah needs the end zones. They need enough time. The 3 and out would be
no doubt.
Absolutely what they want.
If you had that first down, then all of a sudden you could start to potentially milk the clock a little bit. Now, not necessarily seeing them do that. They've got to just get their offense going, get good field position, even if they do punt.
Webb goes down. He couldn't get out of trouble. And now you've got a huge flip of field position pending.
No Lotulelei, and this defensive front, Hunter Dimmick, Kamoi Peno, they just keep coming and coming and coming. And for Davis Webb, you got to know the situation. No sacks. Gets tripped up, trying to get out of it. Terrible field position right now.
So 3rd and a mile. If nothing else, Cal needs some yardage here just for the field position game. Utah only brings 4, so they run and Wary, and that's well defensed. Utah stood right there. It's Mokafisi, Filippo Mokafisi, and Utah should get this ball with a real good drive start.
And it's the right call to run it there if you're Cal. Yeah. Say, why don't we take a shot to Chad Hansen on the sideline? But you got to get that clock going right here. This is the biggest element right now for Cal. I liked how they remained aggressive early on, but the penalty killed them.
And I'm also hoping, I'm sure you're hoping there you get 10 or 15 yards. At least it helps field position. Klump gets the punt away. Hobbs will back up. That's kicked pretty well. Hobbs is way back. Wow. And a late flag comes in. That was a bad block. And I'm not sure why it took so long for that flag to come in, because everybody in the stadium saw it. And Utah's not going to get the good drive start they hoped.
No, and you don't see that very often with Kyle Whittingham coach teams. I mean, that is a poor penalty.
Yep.
I mean, you just can't do it. Critical at this time in this game. Casey Hughes, clearly penalty, pushing the back.
That's hard. Put your hands in your pocket there. That's what you want to scream, right?
Exactly. And now you don't have Timmy Patrick, right?
That's what Kyle Whittingham's telling him right now.
And now you're set back. Yeah. Okay, well, the good thing is, Troy Williams, you did it once.
Yeah, but instead of thinking, you were thinking you might have to go 50 to 60 yards, Utah. Now they're going to have to go 80. It's going to go back to about the 20-yard line.
They went 93 last week, so I'm sure that's an element of what they're saying.
There is no foul for an illegal block back in the play. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team, number 88. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that one, if Sonny Dykes was upset about Vic and Wary fumble against Texas, what's this going to do? No block in the back foul that sure looked like one, and instead 15 the other way, which we did not see.
Wow. Number one, that has completely shifted the anatomy of this drive.
It's a 30-yard flip right there. And Utah does get the 50. Actually, they're going to get the Cal 49 for the drive start.
Wow.
Massive.
That's surprising to me.
Massive. Well, Utah has every opportunity. Now time is not a factor. Plenty of time for them.
You could run your offense, and I would.
They tried to throw it quick. Whoa! And that was a mistake by Troy Williams. It wasn't there, and then he tried to throw it a second time, and Cameron Walker almost got it.
And this is hard on you, because now you're a play caller, and you're saying, all right, what is going on with my quarterback right now? Can I call my offense, or do I need to go back and just run the ball, pound the rock, and only make throws outside the numbers? Because that right there is catastrophic of a decision, and he got lucky with the drop potential pick.
Troy Williams has thrown 41 passes today, no interceptions. Completed 23. Utah has 2nd and 10. He does get yardage here to Singleton. First down and more. And now Utah's in business. Inside the 35.
Well, Franklin just giving up way too much real estate there. I mean, that's too easy. To the wide side of the field, a hitch route.
Braylon Singleton only had 8 catches total in the first 4 Utah games. 7 catches today.
And it's the balance now for Kyle Whittingham, and he's done this a lot. He's won a lot of close games, but 4 minutes left. You don't want to leave a lot of time on the clock for Cal, but you need to score.
And driving it down inside the 30s, Armand Shine. This is one of the great, Yogi and I, we spent a few hours talking about this yesterday. The game situation awareness, Dakota Prukop's fade on first down last week, and Wary's fumble here when he could have gone down. These are situations that in college football are so hard for teams to master. You just don't have enough time.
No doubt.
To work with your players on.
You're exactly right. You go through every one of them that you can think of in training camp, and then you go through 2-minute drill and 4-minute drill during the week. But those little plays of understanding where to put the ball, when not to throw it, when to take a sack. This is an interesting drive here for Troy Williams. He's got to showcase mastery of this system.
2nd and 4. Shine runs it right. Shine drives it down inside the 25. It'll be a Utah first down. So, Yogi, I come down on the side. If I'm in Utah's shoes here, the clock is way secondary to me. I'm behind. I need to score. How do you feel?
100%. You've got to win the game. You have to win the game. Keep your foot on the gas. I like how they threw to the wide side of the field after a poor decision by Troy Williams. They come right back and say, all right, play off coverage. We'll take a first down. Nice run to the left, to the right here. Their offensive line's getting pushed. Now you're in the red zone. Again, if they give you an easy hitch at the top of the screen, don't be afraid to take it.
Singleton way to the bottom. But they're going to run the ball again with Moss, the freshman. And it'll be first and goal for Utah. And now, my question, and we had this very same scenario last week in Eugene, Yogi. It's both sides out. Does Sonny Dykes start thinking about timeouts?
I think if you're Cal, you want to wait. You want to see what the strategy is for Utah right here. And clearly they're going to try to milk the clock. You don't want to start all of a sudden tipping your hand and getting rid of your timeouts. You got 3.
Yeah, not all of them, right?
Exactly.
First and goal. 4 receivers, 3 bottom. Smith alone up top. Again against the little bit of a lighter box. Defensive box. Utah trying to spread the field and then see if they can run inside. Cal jams it up after 2.
Okay, after this snap, assuming Utah's going to run the football, you got to use a timeout. I thought they might have used one there. If you're Cal.
Yeah, okay.
I think you got to stop the clock.
Yeah.
You know, even though you're a quick strike offense and you're going to have a bunch of timeouts left, I think you've got to be smart with this play clock.
Hard to believe. Look at that difference. 93rd play for
That's
Utah.
insane.
And they're trailing. And they won't get in on that. Shine in the middle. So now the game's down to 2 snaps. For Utah, they need the end zone. And the way this clock's running down, they won't get any more chances.
Well, it's interesting. Sonny Dykes is out on the field. Kyle Whittingham's out on the field. It's kind of like, who's going to call a timeout? Oh, let's not.
Nobody.
Here we go. This, you know what? How great is Bowman? This is why we love this game.
Is it. And both coaches are basically saying these 2 plays are it. This is the game.
Hey, Cindy said it. The Cal defensive line was on the sideline and said, we're going to have to do it again. Well, here you go, Cal.
Game of the day comes down to the final minute. Pressure. Williams is down. The game will come down to 1 play.
Devontae Downs, bottom of your screen. He comes off the edge. How about the energy with this defense? They come balanced. They come from the interior all over the field. And there's Cameron Saffel. He knows he had that personal foul that hurt him early in the ball game.
Well, what Utah's going to do here now is this. Well, actually, they did it sooner than I thought.
30 seconds in length.
The play clock was not running. I would have thought Utah would let the game clock go down to 3 seconds. As you say, it's the last play of the game either way.
This is going to be great.
But either way.
Well, here's the beautiful thing now. Okay, we got timeouts. Okay, Utah obviously just took one. But now it becomes almost that icing moment, or even in basketball, what are they setting up to do? So now it's all about the eyes in the booth for both of these staffs. What are they seeing? Are they screaming down to the sideline, call timeout, call timeout? What do they expect and what are the tendencies?
Right, so 4th and goal at the 11, 1 play. What do your eyes see from the booth for Utah?
Well, if I'm Utah, I'm isolating number 11, Raylan Singleton, to the field. Give him a chance.
The wide side, you're saying.
To the wide side. In the slot, I'm putting 17, Demarie Simpkins, the true freshman. It's advantage athlete for Utah. Simpkins is a better athlete than whoever is going to line up across from in the nickel defense for Cal. Yes, he's a freshman. Yes, he hasn't been there. But if he can beat him on a slant, on a quick-hitting route, I'd go to him. If not, I'm coming, resetting my feet if I'm Troy Williams, and I'm going to the outside.
Well, Utah missing a lot of its weapons today on offense. Tim Patrick hasn't played since the first half. Corey Butler-Bird not here. Kyle Fulks hurt during the game. Raylan Singleton's been their big man. He is down at the very bottom of your picture going against Marshawn Franklin of Cal.
It's man coverage. Harrison Hanley, the tight end, 88.
And now Sonny Dykes, after seeing what Utah came to the line with, takes a timeout. And now Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky start here.
All right, here we go. We called it, right? Here's Singleton. It's man-to-man coverage. Here's Simpkins, man-to-man coverage. Here's Hanley, man-to-man. If I'm them, I'm doing this, and I'm working this guy to the back end line. Man coverage all across the board. Luke Ravenser's at the top. He's double coverage on the top of the field to the boundary.
This is what you love. Now this is what a lot of us love about ball yogis. Right? This is chess right now. So Kyle Whittingham showed his move. Sonny countered. It's a timeout. Now what move does Kyle make?
I think he lines up exactly the same.
Okay.
I think you line up exactly the same. I love it. Man-to-man coverage. These are two extremely aggressive teams. You know you're going to bring a fifth guy. You're going to bring a little extra pressure. The ball's got to get out of Troy Williams' hands. The biggest thing, though, if I'm Cal, I'm playing press coverage. You have to disrupt the timing of Utah's wide receivers.
Everybody standing in Memorial Stadium. Everybody. One play to decide the game.
Same formation.
Singleton at the bottom. Williams looking that way. Throwing that way. Flag is down in the end zone. Does Utah have life? Yes.
Well, you want to talk about
Pass interference. Defense number 18. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
100% the right call. And you want to talk about the timeout of Kyle Whittingham? It saves his team time. If he let the clock go all the way down, now all of a sudden you just got one play.
One play,
now
right.
we're first down at the 2 with 2 timeouts. That is a big-time decision. That's why he's been National Coach of the Year. It's why we believe he's one of the top coaches in the country. Awesome job of clock management by Utah and Kyle Whittingham.
Well said, Coach Roth. Well said. So Utah has multiple plays. Now they can run. They have 2 timeouts. They can use the field. They can run the ball.
Run the ball. Run the ball to the left. It's where they've had success all night long.
Zach Moss. And now we have a timeout by
Seconds in length.
And I did not hear who called the timeout. And I also don't know why Kyle Whittingham is excited. All right, Cindy, can you help us?
I can. I'm standing right behind Kyle Whittingham. He was asking for clarification on the clock, not a timeout. He did not want a timeout called. And because it got so loud, the referee couldn't hear him and thought he was asking for a timeout. And he was charged with a timeout.
Wow.
He's still trying to beg to get that timeout back. He was not asking for a timeout.
Thank you. That's great, Cindy. And that definitely does impact. I mean, you still can run the ball once.
Yeah, that is a huge,
Yes, it is.
huge change in this ball game.
Now, that's an administrative issue that's hard. It's hard on everybody. With the crowd noise, it's hard on the officials.
No doubt,
question.
especially
It's
how
hard.
he's sprinting down there late as they're about to snap the ball.
Well, Utah still has at least 2 chances to win the game based on that pass interference in the end zone on 4th down.
Again, you see Ken Hampel, 82, the tight end. I'm going run left. Run left to slide the tight end to the right. Follow that left side of the offensive line.
Zach Moss. Zach Moss trying to bounce it outside. Does he get in? He drives. He doesn't. And Utah has to stop the clock for one last play.
Wow.
Cal strung that out beautifully and denied Moss when he might get the corner. There is a Cal player down. It is Raymond Davison.
Timeout for an injured player of the defense.
They run to the left. You see Davison. He's the one who makes the play. All of a sudden,
And
wow, look at them just flying to the football. You want to talk about effort, Ted? This is why you do the double days, why you work out in the winter, why you commit to the film session. It is a game of inches.
And now we need to find out, because Utah called a timeout, but you heard Chris Coit say timeout for an injured defensive player.
Right.
Does that offset the Utah call timeout?
And keep in mind, if you're injured.
And I don't know the answer. We need to be clear on that.
Please reset the play clock to 40 seconds. Thank you.
And we need to find out, does Utah get a timeout back? Because that's significant.
No doubt. And it's extremely significant because, remember, if you're injured, you have to set out a play, but you can save it with a timeout. So now does Cal all of a sudden call a timeout to get who's arguably been their best defensive player?
Third and final timeout of the half.
All right, so there's the thank you. Chris Coit just cleared that up for us. Utah does get charged with its final timeout. It is not negated by the injured player. So now you really have, you have 2 plays to the end zone, right? You have 1 play if it's in the field.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Kyle Whittingham,
Right.
He can run the rock. Let's find out. I mean,
Well, he can run, but it's the last
the
play
game.
if he runs.
Exactly right.
It's 1 play if you run is what I'm saying.
he has gambled, and he has followed this offensive line all season long. Now, clearly, you get 2 plays. If you throw it, it's incomplete. You get the ball back. At least you would think so. But I'll tell you what, Raymond Davison, 12 tackles on the afternoon.
And the other thing we have to find, Troy Williams needs to be aware, if he rolls out, if he moves the pocket,
That's right.
he has to understand the game clock, 7 seconds. He has to make sure it's 2 plays, right?
Knowing Kyle Whittingham, I'm going to put my money on he runs the rock right here. He follows this offensive line.
Great stuff. Homecoming Saturday at Berkeley to the final seconds.
Man coverage on the outside.
No run. Roll out. Needs to throw. Incomplete. Still a play left. Cal celebrating.
And they got to be careful.
And it's not done yet.
Sideline's got to be careful. Now, not that it would necessarily matter, but
So 3rd down, which is not the important part. There's still 3 seconds. That's what matters. I'm
Awesome.
not sure if he's going to get in. Is he going to get in if he catches that?
awesome play call. I
Yeah.
think he's in. Awesome play
Okay.
call. Kyle Whittingham is going off on the sideline.
The play clock is running. It's down to 14 seconds. Utah's going to have to hurry here on the final play of the game. You see the play clock in red. Williams has to snap it. 1 play for the win. Moss does not get it. Cal holds. Cal bent to the last foot and did not break.
And it was Cameron Saffel. Personal foul earlier in the ball game. Luke Rebenzer, James Looney, Saffel fly to the ball.
James Looney.
Wow, and for a team known for its offense, they win with the defensive line on another 4th down stop. Game-winning stop by the Cal Bears. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's everything we saw last week in Eugene. All of the joy and elation for Cal. Frustration for Kyle Whittingham. The administration in the final minute clearly did not sit well with him, and he had some words for the officials as they left the field. Here's our 76 fueled moment.
Well, it's the PI, which gets Utah down inside the 5-yard line. And then the game on the line, everyone on their feet. They battle, they battle, they battle. Utah has every chance, opportunity to get it in the end zone, drop the pass, an errant pass, and then with everything there, Cal Bears get the defensive stop.
Let's hear from Sonny Dykes. Cindy?
All right, you worked this entire building's deodorant. What do you want to say to your defense?
Well, I mean, they just played their tail off. You know, they had a bunch of chances down there. Utah did, and our guys just made plays. Real credit to them. I'm so happy for them. They deserve it. They worked so hard.
What was different for you in the second half? It really seemed like the defensive unit took responsibility to atone for the mistakes in the first half.
Yeah, they did a good job keeping the ball away from us. I mean, they put together some long drives, kept our offense off the field. You know, we didn't execute. You know, penalties killed us. You know, we had a penalty right there at the end of the ball game. We had ball first down in midfield. We get a holding call. You know, we were just fortunate it worked out the way it did. Again, you got to give credit to the defense. Those guys played so hard.
Offensively, you were able to rely on the freshman Demetrius Robertson. What would you say about his day at the office?
Well, you know, he gets better every day. I mean, he's a hard-working kid, got a great work ethic, and just shows up every day, goes to work, and gets better.
Congratulations on winning homecoming, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a great win. I'm proud of our guys.
All right. Ted, back to you.
You know what? So much glory around this Cal program goes to its offense. That defense should smile. There's James Looney at the bottom of the picture, who made the stop on the last play. I think he's going to go watch his bro play tomorrow. His brother Joe plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and they're in town to play the San Francisco 49ers. And James Looney, who was an offensive lineman, And when he went to Wake Forest, his first stop, they moved him to D-line. He ends up making the play on 4th down.
Well, what a team win.
Or on the final play, excuse me, it was 3rd down.
What a team win. I mean, honestly, when you look at this offense, Davis Webb battling back, Sonny Dykes and Looney. I mean, Sonny Dykes is winded in the interview. Look at that. That is why you put in all the hours as a coaching staff. That is why you hold your team accountable discipline-wise. That is why you say we cannot be selfish as a program for moments like that. And that is simply sheer joy. I mean, that's a 12 best moment. Are you kidding me?
All right, so Yogi Roth, my question for you. Will this joy that we just saw from Sonny Dykes match the joy in about a week when he becomes a dad again? Do you think he does that in the delivery room?
You know what? If he does, I hope we get it on film, because that was epic. I mean,
Sonny's wife Kate's about to give birth.
And there's his family.
There they are.
That's awesome.
She's amazing. All right, well, James Looney is with Cindy. Cindy?
James, take me through that final series on the goal line.
Man, everybody was pumped up, man. I don't know, just like I said earlier on in the week, man, we wanted to make this a defensive football team, and we wanted to win the game, and I think we did that tonight. I think we all played together as a team. We all came together that last play, and we gave it our all.
You certainly did. Everybody leaves homecoming happy. What is the deal with the rope around your neck?
Yes, ma'am. Around here, you got to hold a rope. I mean, we had a player go down a couple years ago by the name of Ted, and we just want to hold the rope for him. And, I mean, this is for him, man. We're just proud. The team played great tonight. And, man, thank God, man. This is a blessing and an opportunity. Just got to thank the man upstairs. I can't even say it. I don't know what to say.
No, you're doing great. Congratulations on the win. You said yesterday, you told me that you play bigger when the lights are bright. Why is that?
I don't know what it is. I guess it's just something in the Looney blood. You got to play up to the competition. But just like I said, it was a team effort. So proud of these guys. Webb played great. Everybody played great. It was a team effort. And we finally put it together, and we were able to get the win tonight. And just like I said, thank God. Give God all the glory.
All right. Go celebrate and sing that fight song.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Cindy. James Looney referencing a player who passed away several years ago, a Cal football team in an off-season workout. You saw the replay. If he doesn't make that stop, Utah wins the game. He was the only guy.
He said earlier this week, we need an edge about ourselves. I think they found that edge, and I think he's the guy who become that catalyst to the edge of the Cal defensive line. What a great game. What an awesome win for this program.
Well, it lived up to its billing. Best game of Saturday in the Pac-12. Cal beats Utah. And we're not done. Let's head up to the Palouse, to the Pullman for Oregon and Washington State.